Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Addicted Podcast number 37, I think, hopefully. Woo! We're all here and excited for another brilliant Star Citizen week, and I have no knowledge because I've been away for it all. So yes, today we are joined with the usual Mr. Soul.create, and all the way from sunny, rainy Scotland, where I've just come back from, is a little bit of madness.
Hello.
And we have the usual fantastic one and only guest that we get here. He's a regular. He is an awesome content creator and is an amazing streamer, and the more he streams, the worse he gets. It is, of course, SuperMacBrothersRyan, and finally, but not least, is the wonderful, the one, the only, also summed up on the captain's table, 3 musketeers into 1, the Darjanator. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
He is a virgin guest, so welcome,
Yes,
sir.
I am.
Welcome.
Be gentle.
We're never gentle.
Nope.
But he has got an awesome tankard, which is actually a mini beer barrel, so we're all jealous of that already. So,
So
yeah.
either be gentle or use plenty of lube. Either way, it's fine.
Oh, did someone say lube? Oh, we forgot the lube. Ah, damn. No one told
damn
him
it.
about that. Never mind. And welcome everybody in chat. Thanks for joining us again, and thanks for all the hosts and everything. How is everybody today? Ryan, how has your week been going?
It's Monday, miserable. The week's just begun.
Since the last podcast.
How
How's today been going then?
Pretty good. Yeah, no, it's going all right. Trying to get Star Citizen Sunday done still, so that'll be up tomorrow, hopefully, on Tuesday.
sorry, say that again. Star Citizen Sunday.
Star Citizen Tuesday.
I did say he's an awesome content creator, didn't I?
Yeah, awesome when it finally arrives. Yeah, just did a stream today. It was a lot of fun. Managed to get Big Bennis to Grim Hex, which was hilarious, I must say. But yeah, other than that, just been getting on with it, really.
Cool. Sol, if you want to tell everybody what you've been up to?
Busy, man. Got a work assignment for the first time with my new stuff. That kept me busy for most of the week. We've been doing some racing. I think I did a stream or 2 this week, but lots more to come on the racing side of things. So definitely keep checking it out.
And we'll just keep going clockwise. Mr. Darjanator, how have you been and what have you been up to?
Oh, ever since Gamescom, unfortunately, it's been a bit of a nightmare for me. I was stuck in Germany, I got sick in Germany, and, well, today was the first good day in a while, so I'm happy for that. I haven't touched Star Citizen in 2 weeks now, ever since Gamescom, surprisingly. Unfortunately. So, being on 3 podcasts in 2 days is a bit of an unfortunate event. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
So you're just like the rest of us then. But at least you've had two other podcasts to practice not knowing what
Yes.
you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
You're probably more informed than some of us.
And Madness, how are you doing, my friend? Okay, don't talk. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's the most
Yeah.
quiet you'll ever hear him.
That's the most quiet. Yes, the microphone. Unfortunately, you have to bear with me. I am using Premier Internet. So yes, no, which might drop out now and again. Yeah, I'm good. Usual streaming, lots of dying and killing. There's some clips flying around of me losing to an Aurora today, which was quite fun. Which was quite fun. So that was an amusing one. Yeah, just streaming and chilling, and I'm up. For anyone who wants to know, I'm up in Scotland, not for a great reason. So for some people who do obviously follow me streaming will know that I'm here for my cousin, who sadly passed away from cancer. So I got the funeral tomorrow. So that's why I'm using the hotel Premier Inn tonight. So yeah, so that's what I have tomorrow. But I thought I'd have some fun tonight before that sad day tomorrow.
It's fair enough. And thoughts are with you, mate. And,
Thank you.
And on that serious note, yeah, also our thoughts are going out to everybody that's been affected by the hurricane as well and things like that. Hopefully everybody's safe and not had too much damage to their property and stuff. It's been a bit of a shit week for a lot of people, I think.
So, yeah.
Been crazy.
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff.
Been crazy.
But anyway, we'll reel it back into the happiness that is Star Citizen, because there's definitely no thought flying around for that game. So,
No. So, actually, I was going to start this off as a. You guys noticed that WTFO was doing something? I don't know. Has anyone else ever done this where they will literally take a ship and go manual for a great long distance? He was doing like a 3-day cruise or something.
It keeps crashing. I think it's
Exactly.
hard to do when the game is like it is. You set it off, and then I think I've noticed a couple of times it's just showing the send crash report. But because he's not there, he can't see it. So I expect he gets notified and has to run in quick and fucking restart the thing.
So
he was doing it
on offline mode or what?
He was doing it offline, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was still crashing then. That's
Yeah,
surprising.
I know.
We'll move on from there then.
It might get easier with 3.0 and it remembering where your ship's location is.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Without persistence now, you have to restart back at Port Olisar. It's a bit of a pain.
I think that's pretty much why most people haven't done it at the moment. Really.
Yeah, I think people have tried it on videos and things, haven't they?
Well, I have to say though, it's quite a cool idea, and it got me thinking about, like, at the end of the day, there are going to be there's a rogue planet in the game. There may be some more, and it does give you the option for doing these long haul kind of trips to go to like a planet or something for exploration. You know what I mean?
I think exploration is going to be one of the best things for it. Because I don't want it to be a case of you just scan and you'll find everything quite quickly. You've got to set off on a long, few-day trip, which it'll all depend on the fuel tanks and how far they can carry you. But you need to be able to travel quite a long distance uninterrupted with nothing, basically, before you get to a good treasure find or something worth locating.
This gets me to the thing where I was thinking, because we talk about fuel and stuff, and I don't know if it was you or the same SuperMac. We're talking about solar sails. So the idea of being able to either you could do like recharging through the sun or something, so you could recharge your power supply, or you could have a specific ship that is designed to go great distances without needing jump gates. Do you know what I mean? And has an endless supply of power, and to do that trip, to make it this distance, do like a week, a full 24-hour, and you can have your mates. A big ship, it's got to be a fairly big ship, so you can have some of your mates on board.
The Karak
come with you.
That would be ideal for it because it's going to have its own.
Yeah, and it's got those things that fold out. You could attach the sails to that and just.
And they just sew it onto the.
Catch that space wind.
They're for what do you call it?
Jump point mapping.
Yeah, as Chris put it.
Yeah,
dancing, doing the
very eloquent.
Yeah.
You could do a rave in a 600i, you know what I mean? Put on some techno music. Pop some space commodities and go for it.
Well, that's an exploration ship as well, isn't it?
I think they did say that the exploration ships would have that a capacity to go further than the normal ships, whether it's more energy efficient engines or bigger fuel
regeneration
tanks or
in some way.
Yeah. But I mean,
no, they will. Yeah, definitely. They'll have better scanning, bigger fuel tanks.
I think. I mean, for the way for exploration to work, it has because at the moment any ship can use like jump gates and stuff. I think it has to have that sort of feature where you can just fly for constantly without a jump gate and explore that way rather than everything being linked by a jump gate. Otherwise, you know what I mean. It's not going to explore that much. Otherwise, are you really?
Well, are we talking jump points or quantum travel?
I think, without the use of jump points, I think quantum traveling places and having an active scan going, I think, would be a good option, if that's possible.
Right, so you potentially going outside the predetermined confines of a solar system and just going out there.
Yeah, so basically you are heading to another solar system, but obviously that would you'd never get there.
In between is the darkness, basically.
And it could be a mission, or it could be something you've picked up of someone like, I don't know, let's just hypothetical, Miles Eckhart or Rutu or someone else says, we've heard a signal, here's the marker on the thing, we don't know where it is, we don't know what it is, we know that it's X number of million miles away, there's no jump points there, there's no quantum jump there, you have to manually get there. And you have no idea in terms of potentially what the rewards are, what's there. It could be an absolute waste of time, or it could be, it could be the hidden gold or something, and it could lead you to. It could be like a treasure island type thing, where it's a little clue that then leads you to another place, and it makes this huge, long mission to find something amazing at the end of it, which would be so cool.
They have said that they want missions to not just be a case of go to A, then to B, and then back to C, or what. You're going to have it so that you go there and then something will algorithmically happen, which will be like you'll get attacked, or something will change. So it's going to be a flowing mission. It's not just going to be a case of ABC. It's going to be a full-on.
Yeah, so it's like
more in the RNG type of way. It could go, you have 4 outcomes. It's going to pluck one of those 4 outcomes. That would lead to another thing. There's going to pluck 4 different options again, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know what would be kind of cool though as well? It's like, can you imagine if you go like on a 3-day hike or a 3-day trip, like
I hope he's gone.
Breaks and you're stuck and you have to send out a message to get picked up.
We'll start that again. Start that again because you cut out.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Paused. Okay, so you go 3 days, and then you get stuck.
So you find nothing. You don't find
stuck.
Like a brothel.
And you get stuck, and you need somebody to come and get you.
Did you talk that he said sucked?
I thought he said sucked. Yeah, I was just saying. Sounds like a good 3 days.
3 days and then you get sucked.
Tell me the direction.
Yeah, I might use that as well.
I think it would be cool. I know these I think it would be cool if, say, you find you can see a signal which is weak. You know it's a signal like a distress signal, and you've got to set off and find it, and it takes time to get to it because the scanners on an exploration ship will be stronger, so you'll be able to pick up signals at further ranges, maybe a broader spectrum as well. You head off there, and to be honest, if you need to get picked up again, it will be because of negligence of yourself. You'll fucking run out of fuel, or you'll get shot, or something will happen, and then that's just part and parcel of player-driven content, is that if you need to be rescued, that would be a mission for someone else, and then you'll be stranded there, and have to wait for rescue. But it could just lead on to multiple variations of the mission, getting attacked, not getting attacked, finding something really interesting, and unfolding more of the lore. So many possibilities to it.
Because they did mention very early on, didn't they, that you would be able to... There were going to be some, like, they've already mapped planets and jump gates, but they're not necessarily going to be on the map as a discovered thing, and then people will be able to go and discover them.
From what I understand, the star map only has 90 systems on, and there was supposed to be 100, so I think 10 of them are hidden, and it's up to us all to find it.
I think it's going to be a lot more than that, and the star map as it is going to be a lot less fully discovered when we get all of it.
Yeah, no, that's true, and obviously
so you
all
don't
the time.
think we'll see them all at once,
especially because jump points aren't a permanent thing. You need to find another instance of the jump point when another one becomes inoperable or useless or just collapses on itself.
Yeah, because you're going to have to keep remapping them over time. Some of them will be unstable, won't they? And you have to... So it'll be a full profession for exploration ships, or like the Carrack, to remap these jumps. And obviously, if it's only a big jump a Carrack can go through, I don't think they can go through medium, can they?
I think the Carrack is a medium.
Is it medium?
Still medium, yeah.
So you'll still need small jumps to be mapped. And there's a lot of work for exploration ships. Explorers, that's the one.
It's a lot of work for almost every single profession, to be honest.
So they actually said that the jump gates were going to get destroyed over time, did they?
Yes. They will get unstable and they'll start collapsing, and sometimes you'll need to remap them again. It was when did these talk? Was it a 10 for the chairman that they mentioned this?
Probably.
Okay.
I missed that show.
Do we know, like, sort of what do you think the time scale of that sort of thing would be?
They will vary. They'll vary between jump points. Some of them will just be more unstable than others and need to be mapped on a regular basis, and others will be fine, and then others will just be like hell no.
It could be from use. Like if one jump point gets like 100 ships an hour going through it, will collapse much sooner than one that gets maybe 2 ships a day or something like that.
Yeah.
We don't know. That's the thing.
No,
we don't know.
No, exactly.
Is my bot not working?
Mm-mm.
Goddamn bot.
Oh yeah, there's been an update.
Uprising.
I think there's been some sort of update or something.
Oh yeah, I just saw a tweet. Yeah, the new Twitch API is available today.
Well, good timing.
Oh, that's good.
So
it's disconnected.
All the notifications for me weren't working this morning. I had to reset everything. All Streamlabs wasn't working.
I thought you were ignoring me this morning, man. I was like, this man is angry.
Yeah, that's true. As Canuck says, actually, the information that when you plot a course, you can either keep that information to yourself. If it's a new course that you've found, you know, to a new system, you can keep that information, you can sell it, or you can donate it to, say, the UEE to make it public knowledge. I wonder how it will work with. I assume the UEE will probably employ, which is again speculation, will employ people, explorers, to use their ships to remap, to remap these locations just to make them more solid again. That'll be work that you'll probably find at the TDD. But yeah, it's not confirmed. It's just, I know they have said that it is confirmed that jump points will be unstable. Some of them will be unstable and need to be remapped. But how we go about doing it is still a mechanic they've got to design.
Then I wonder what sort of traffic blocks that's gonna create if like a major used jump point just collapses and then for hours there's nobody available around to remap it. Like
Cool.
Supply lines get disrupted, factories don't get their equipment or materials they need to do, and then it may. Here's an idea: a jump point disruption device that pirates could employ.
Cool.
That they could intentionally collapse one.
That would be very cool. Where you go into it and plant a. I don't know. Because you can fight in jump points. They've said that you're going to be able to combat inside jump points. But yeah, maybe you could shit out a bomb on your way through, and then when you get out, it's like you can't be followed through. Maybe, I don't know. That's a really cool idea.
Would be a good one.
I mean, jump points is 4.0, so it'd be very exciting to see how they develop all this technology.
Definitely.
What their ultimate plan is for it. It's going to be really exciting, especially for exploration, which we all know is the biggest part of the game for most of the backers. That's the bit that most people want to do.
Yeah,
I think especially and also on the tactical side, as Ryan and Darj just mentioned, if you have a jump point disruptor or something, as a pirate, you can lead people in a certain direction by doing that. For example, how do you call it, a bottleneck where you can basically lead people into and make advantage in a very tactical gameplay as well. Like a trap, basically, yeah. Or the other way around for the good guys to lead pirates away from stuff, or bad people away from stuff. It's again, and that's something that I always really like. I mentioned it a lot. It's the tactical gameplay. Think differently, think outside of the box, and I think with those kind of things included, that can really initiate such things. Will
that be like interdiction and against interdiction and things like that, perhaps?
Exactly. Am I going to take the route that everyone and be safe? Do I want to be quicker and have a chance that I run into a pirate? Is the normal route blocked? What's going on? Is there something happening? Are we being trapped? Are we? And people will fight over these things as well. I think at the end of the day, did we just lose Darj?
Who? No, Darj, you still there?
Can you just refresh Discord?
Okay.
If you.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Give us the next subject. We'll start talking about it while we're sorting it out.
So yeah, the next thing that we can talk about is the Batgirl Ben's Day discussion. I don't know if anybody read it, but there was just a little bit more clarification about the 600i because the question and answer on it was dire. Basically, it left people wanting to just sell their ship after buying it like 10 seconds before. So we can have a little discussion on that. I think Ben so he was away, which he's normally, I think, in charge a little bit of that sort of thing. So he had a hand in like the ship, putting the idea across, having the whole luxury ship concept and things like that. And he just said that they had like a brief to answer, and they kind of said, well, it doesn't behave like the Phoenix does because it doesn't have cargo, and then they kind of left it at that, which wasn't what they were supposed to say, really. So, yeah, so one of the things that Ben basically clarified with the 600i is he said that, yes, it's not like the Phoenix in terms of it won't have cargo. However, it'll have other gameplay mechanics instead, which haven't really been discussed and aren't in the game or even in the pipeline as such. But so one of the things he was talking about was VIP transport. and he said there'll also be other luxury stuff added to the game at a later date. So
yeah, pleasure cruise. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of related it to Uber, where you can get your normal standard Uber and pay a normal price, or you can pay a premium and have a more fancy car drive you around. So you can pay an extra amount of money, and if you just want to specifically have a very nice, luxurious taxi from one place to the next, you can pay the extra and pay an owner of a 600 to do that. But also VIP transport. They did talk a while ago about having like senators and people of the political parties needing this VIP transportation. So you would be an option for that, and you would be able, like in order to take that job, you would have to have a ship either like the 890 jump or the 600. There'll be specific requisites. Is that the right word? That's probably not the right word.
Prerequisites.
Prerequisites. Yeah.
So that you can take that job on.
Right. So if you want to go on a 3-day suck, you need a 600i.
Yes. Otherwise, those hoes ain't getting on.
Or you get a different class altogether.
Terrible class of.
So it's basically, was it Bio's dream job? That's what he was talking. That's basically the game changer.
Tour guide, yeah. But listen, as Darsh says, the 600i is the perfect ship because you can sit on your sofa, watch into deep space while getting a 3-day suck. You know what I mean? It's the perfect ship for it at the end of the day. It is the perfect ship for it.
3
They
days
said there will be a
suck.
lot of. He did say there will be a lot of gameplay for it. It's not available yet, and they've not designed it yet, so they can't really talk about it.
Yeah.
But they will have a purpose.
Even though we don't have the gameplay, Ryan, we touched upon it when they presented the 600i. I think we said it in a podcast as well. Use your mind, role play. That's what it's all about. Go hang out with your friends and go chill somewhere. For example, there might be a planet where it's very tropical and a lot of water, and where everyone hangs out as more of a social hub. Go hang out there and bring that thing down. You could come in your Hornet and everyone says, "Oh, there he is in his Hornet." Or you could come driving in with your 600i. It's like a Ferrari. It's a luxury
Like a
product.
boss.
And just like the 890 jump, I want to land that in the water and just have it float there like a yacht.
Floating around, yeah. Exactly.
You know what?
No, I don't want to dive bomb in the water and and just create a tsunami. I just want to gently touch down and have it float around like a yacht, like one of those Playboy millionaires.
I hope
do you know
so.
what?
And
It's like,
hopefully not flood the engines.
Do you know? Do you remember the Fifth Element when they go? There's like this really luxurious where the woman's singing.
Fluxton
Yes.
Paradise.
Yes, that's the one. And they go to that ship, and the idea is it's a beautiful planet, is amazingly beautiful. That's what I want. I just want them to have this one beautiful, beautiful planet where it's just like luxurious and beautiful and sunny.
Goss.
890 jumps. It's a bit like Monaco, but just kind of massive everywhere.
I think Goss is supposed to be the luxurious.
That's what you want. Is it Goss?
The rise of Star Citizen.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't wait. That'd be awesome.
Fantastic.
This just made me think of something. My dirty mind just jumped in there.
Go ahead.
Say it. It's the bang space bus, basically. Like.
Oh, no. The Mustang Beta is the bang bus.
The bang bus.
You can't get many. Well, I suppose you could probably get a few in there in a tight squeeze.
You can get about 6 or 7. I've tried, and
It's got steamy windows.
It's a bit of a
in the
squeeze.
Mustang.
yeah, as long as you're all naked and lubed up, you can move around quite easily. No friction.
So one of the other things that they addressed with the ship, with the whole VIP and luxury thing, is they said that the actual ship itself, so we're talking about with subsumption in the game and things like that, so the way that the NPCs will react to you, and Ben was also saying that this will also happen depending on the ship you fly. So if I pull up in my sexy little Aurora and say to some VIP Empress, come for a ride, she's more likely to just blow up my Aurora and then walk up to the guy with the 600i instead.
Yes.
So
Well, that's cool.
So that's kind of cool.
That unfortunately does work in real life.
Yeah.
Like there is a perceived, like the first impression you give to someone, whether if you drive up in an Audi or a Yugo.
Yeah. You don't go up to a red carpet event in like a Robin Reliant, do you?
No.
No.
Do you know what'd be funny? Is like, I'm going to be the dude that's chatting to a bird and be like, see that 600i? I'm the shitty one just next to it.
Like, come and get into my ship, and you'll walk towards it and then go behind it to the Aurora.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you get the job, sign the contract first, and then walk behind the 600.
But then you got some chicks like a pickup truck with a redneck in it. Some chicks like a nice dressed up man in a limousine or in a Ferrari. You know what I mean? So I think having that diversity there, you know what I mean, and it will show you your character as well. What Madness says, you know, Madness is the fighter pilot. You see him in a sleek fighter jet. You know what I mean? I'm the transport.
And then he goes, he's only got one seater. Oh, fuck it, never mind.
Oh, you can sit on my lap, he said.
See you later, love. Bye.
Bruce Wayne made it work with a Lamborghini and 2 chicks, so
yeah, exactly. That's
Batman.
So I'm guessing, I mean, there would be a flip side. There will probably be NPCs that wouldn't get in a luxury ship and would pick a less luxury ship, but I guess they wouldn't pay as much, obviously, as someone that's a VIP that's got a lot of money.
Well, a VIP might want to be traveling undercover as well. I choose for that more simple transport and send the 600i out empty. Well, people think he is in the 600i, but actually, no, he's 3 jump points away in an Aurora. You know what I mean? You can use it
like
as a
in
bait
Firefly.
as well.
You know, Simon Tam just specifically found this the Serenity just because he didn't want to draw attention to himself.
Draw attention. Yeah. So there's a lot of options for gameplay with this ship. You know what I mean? I wasn't really too fussed myself about the whole Q&A thing and about what they said about it because. And as I said earlier, you can create your own scenarios with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose it's just. I mean, so this is like touching on the next point of that is that it was an extremely high price tag for what. When the Q&A come out, it sounded like it had no functionality. Yes, you can roleplay, but there's a 400 quid's worth of roleplay is a little bit steep, you know. But I
agree with you, Miss, but didn't we have that with the 890 jump before as well?
Well, yeah, this is
similar thing, and people weren't really too complaining back in the day about it. You know what I mean? Everyone's like,
nobody was complaining.
Exactly, but now I don't know if it's the period that we're in. You know, that's a bit of a rough period maybe for people that they're waiting for stuff or whatever. But I still see it as the same as the 890 jump came out, only then for a better price tag than the 890 jump, but very similar luxury-wise, maybe smaller in size, you know, but still with the same purpose as that 890 jump that was brought out. 2 years back now, one and a half, 2 years back.
Yeah.
So nothing's really changed, you know. So I was like, okay, and we touched upon it before. I was like, there are enough purposes, even though you can create them yourself. They don't necessarily need to be in that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like having a Ferrari. You know, it does the same as a.
I wouldn't know.
Go, you know, I wouldn't know, but it drives and it brings you from A to B. But it's what you do with it at the end of the day. You know, you bring it to a car show.
There are some differences, but I mean, people do get attached to their cars, and you know, therefore, for a lot of people, cars aren't just a means of transport from point A to B.
No, exactly,
and which is why there is a market for. Higher quality, higher priced cars instead of just that. Everybody would be driving in Yugos or Reliant Robins otherwise, yeah.
Exactly, and I think it's the same with chips, you know. It's like, it's a status thing maybe as well, you know. Look at me, I have a 600i. You know.
The reason why they have a high price tag is because luxury items are exclusive to those who can afford it for a high price tag. And that's the purpose of there is a market out there, but not the average person can't afford it, which is the whole purpose of putting it that high. So the people that do own it will have that exclusivity, and people will automatically see them as being someone of status.
I wonder though if, you know, owning a luxurious ship like this would unlock certain gameplay features or mechanics that owning a luxury car, for instance, would. Like, I didn't know about this. But if you own a brand new BMW, you get concierge service.
Is that where you press a button and someone
talk to someone and say, "Hi,
what are you wearing?
I want a steak." And they are obliged to find you a steak and send you the instructions to your sat nav, and then you just go.
Nice.
And that's a free service. You don't get that with a Yugo.
No.
It's like the Amazon Fire thing that they had.
I think Mercedes does it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, that sort of tier of vehicle will get you extra things apart from just having a nicer car to drive in.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Probably
What
give you,
I hope we will...
Like joining like the Million Mile High Club, things like that. You know, access to different areas that you couldn't get to, things like that. I would have thought.
Yeah.
And just how much salt is Reddit gonna produce when they find out about that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What I hope they do as well, guys, is it's just a speculation. You know, eventually we are going to be able, and the 600i is a ship that I want to build in game. What I hope they do is when I hope they put in building materials that are very hard to get or very high price or very rare to build these sorts of ships. You know, let's make it very hard to build an 890 jump. To build a 600i, you know, you need a certain material.
We're not building. So we're not building. We're buying. So you
won't be allowed to build a ship.
I think he means like in terms of if a station's making it, you can then deliver components so that then because it won't have one available.
Yeah. Sorry, it's the way I explain it. So that we indeed need to give certain components before we can get the ship out of there. You know what I mean? Make it hard to buy. You know, say like, okay, you want certain commodities before you can buy this ship. Maybe in a reputation kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Could do. Maybe the 600i for a specific trim level requires a specific stone that's only found on a single planet.
Just for the marble worktops.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. It could.
Well, I saw the brochure. There's stone there. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to trying to see the black market where you can pick up a hand stolen version of the 600 with the engraving of the person's name.
You'd be able to identify easy.
Scrubbed out the back.
Scratch the tag away.
Or just not the 600i, just the marble stone tops. That's the only thing. That's the highest value. About
you stole it, left the 600i behind. You just got the stab tops.
Keep
that. Well, that's. Oh, you can keep that. Yeah.
On that similar line, actually, is that one of the other things that he mentioned. So obviously there was a big controversy about the price. Well, I say big, it's the vocal few. But he was saying that it's not just, so a lot of people go, well, you know, what is the price of luxury? You're paying extra for the luxury. But it wasn't just that. The other thing he said that is, don't forget that components are going to have different levels of quality as well. So your crap level, just because it's got a size 2 gun doesn't mean all size 2 guns are equal. So the luxury one that you're going to get is going to have better engines on it, it's going to have better quality weapons, all the components are going to be top class, which is, so you're paying for that as well. So it at the moment, as the ship matrix kind of works, you don't see that so much. You just see, it has size 5s or it has size 4s, and it's hard to grasp the cost. But he said there's a big, massive matrix on how they work out how the value of a ship.
It is, all ships are going up now because there's more component-based prices, whereas before they weren't. So now, if you have ever, I'm sure a lot of you have, taken your ship and just thought, how much would it be to equip a cooler, whatever we have, a power plant or the weapons? It costs a fucking shed load. If you take the renting prices, that's 10% of the actual cost price. And it costs more, the ships that we bought in the early days, it costs more to outfit them than it does to buy the ship, which makes no sense. So they are pricing ships now that are more component-based. So it'll cost. So they have an idea in their head of how much each component costs for the whole ship, and then that will be represented by actual price. Just fucking buy it in game.
I think he said one of the ships had something like 32 items to judge the cost of it. So it was saying something like that they have, like, I think Batgirl said something like there was a formula. So it's in terms of like the shell of the ship, then the rarity of the ship. So obviously if it's a rare ship, it's going to be costing more anyway, like some of the alien ones. And then you've got the components and the quality of the components. So all of that is what, and also then the role it can perform as well. So they add all that together.
They want the exclusivity of this ship. They don't want everyone to own it, and the rarity of the ship comes through because not everyone could afford it. Which they don't want everyone to afford it. It's a luxury ship. Why? If everyone was driving around in a fucking 890 jump or a 600i, they would have no. Then it would be a useless ship. because everyone could afford it. Now it actually has that exclusivity, and you have to be rich to afford it.
Do you know what's interesting about the whole 600i conversation was because, like, when the first 600i came out, everyone was very happy about it. Then the Q&A happened, and then everybody was very upset about it because of the miscommunication. Then as time's gone on, I think people have kind of become a bit more understanding of potentially where the 600i could fit and where luxury becomes. It's almost like it just taken a little bit of a breather. Everyone initially went kind of ballistic on it, and then suddenly a few people said, well, what about this and what about that, and maybe it could be used for this, and actually it's this, and it seems to have
exactly matters, you know. People, it's people using just use your role play sense, you know, as well next to that, and that was why I was so surprised in comparison with the 890 and the Phoenix. You know, they are similar purpose ships, you know, and you can think of many things. You know, we've joked about it earlier, Bang Buzz, with it, you know, think of something and you can do it with it. Do a rave with your mates, you know, go luxury cruising. We joked about it before, the tour guide, you know, what would you rather be driven around in a 600i 890 jump or in a Drake, you know what I mean? It's like there are so many purposes for it.
And don't forget, not everyone is going to agree with the purpose of a ship. Some people will buy it because they want it anyway. Some people, like, I don't want certain ships, but I'm not going to complain that I don't want them. Why did you make it so I want them? It's just nanu. It's you know, it's just the way it works. That's the whole point of ship.
Yeah, I do. I think there's an element where you've just got to, I mean, people are just so quick. I mean, it was a concept sale for a start. So to go so crazy over a concept sale before any details had really come out, even after the Q&A, it's still only a small discussion after it. People, I mean, that should be a lesson to people, just not to just jump straight down. So you go, oh my God, this is unbelievable. What are you doing? It's, you know, they need to wait. There's so many mechanics that we don't have already that aren't in the game or haven't even been discussed, which we just need to wait and kind of see how they develop, I think.
Yeah, they'll bring much more purpose to ships.
Yes,
right. Start coming in.
And you don't necessarily need to play the game's meta, you know. Look, role-playing servers.
Your voice just went.
We lost you then.
Start again.
I'll look at it, for example, the GTA 5 example, where everyone plays GTA 5 in a normal way, but you also have GTA 5, the role-playing servers, you know what I mean? So there's so many ways to go in, and there will be people, I think especially in the community that we are in, that are very role-play driven as well, you know, so you can fill in things yourself to do with that thing, you know. I would want to have it, I would want to buy it, you know, eventually in the game, and I hope that it's going to be a grind, you know, and that I can eventually say after half a year, damn, I've worked hard for that 600i or for that 890. I got it now. You know what I mean? Hey boys, let's go hang out somewhere. You know what I mean? Or let's go chill in it. You know, it's. I hope we really hope we're gonna see such a thing.
Yeah, there needs to be a reason behind the ship. Sorry, I'm not actually paying attention.
I disagree though. I disagree. I don't think every ship should have a clearly defined purpose or reason.
Yeah.
Why?
I agree with
Why can't the ship just exist because it's fucking nice to look at?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm with you on that, because there's also an element where if people moan about, oh, I mean, I said it's a high price, but I also think that it's up to fucking them what they want to price it at. And it's up to you to decide whether you think it's worth it or not.
What it's worth for you.
You don't need to buy it. You don't need to buy every goddamn ship.
Yeah. You don't have to pay that. I'm on about not just with currency.
Completionists do.
I'm on about in-game. Well, screw them. That's up to them. Well, then they have to save. No, because even in-game,
they have bigger problems.
It can be expensive, and if you really want it, then that's something you're going to have to save up and get. Well, if that's what price they want to make it, then what's the problem? But
I want to get back to the point which was made, is that you don't believe that every ship should have. Would you say a purpose? Did you say in the game, or it should just be? Yeah. It doesn't have to have a purpose. I disagree with you on the principle of it being a game. I firmly believe that every ship should perform to a high standard in certain field. I think otherwise, I just think you end up you genuinely just get trophies that sit in your hangar. You know.
But those need to be there as well, man. It's next to the ship, and I see both sides of the medallion.
But the trophy ones,
ships that have no purpose.
But the trophy ones,
and you can think of that purpose.
But then they have a purpose, though. Again, it's the point is, if it's a trophy ship because it's a beautiful looking, gorgeous ship that's got luxury, and it's going to be sitting on your 890 jump, it's going to be sitting on the ocean. That has a purpose in that sense. But just having ships for the sake of ships, you end up getting things like currently you've got the Herald, for example, which they've given away, and we use this as an example. Beautiful looking ship, but at the moment there's no real mechanics for it other than just the fact that it goes in a straight line pretty quick. It's kind of pointless, really.
Well, because it's not there yet. It's something
because they haven't developed the mechanics for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's it. But that's my point. So basically, what you're technically saying is have a Herald with no point whatsoever. It's not good at anything, not great at anything.
You know why we have a Herald? Because the forums, the Spectrum and Reddit wouldn't stop bitching about it.
Right.
That's why we got Star Marine as well.
I think the best bet is to get any ship that is ready in the game because it gets the weapons and so forth. Well, not the weapons, but it gets the ship balanced. It gets the bugs found. Because don't forget when the ships like the Starfarer came in, everyone was clipping through the floors, the walls. If they released it with the game mechanics and you have a purpose, you will be there with a purpose and you'll get sucked out the ship. It'll be fucking annoying. So get the ships in game when they're ready for the sake of giving the people who paid for them the chance to play with it, getting everyone to test it, to find the bugs before the mechanics come in. There's no reason why they should hold off on that. Yeah. Yes, they don't have a purpose, but why hold it?
I totally agree. I mean, I'm fed. I've always even thought, like, early days in early development, why we couldn't just have the white box in your hangar, just to have a look at, just so you get a look at the size. Yeah, I mean, maybe that would allow people to understand that this is actually development, not it's all supposed to come out pristine, new and working. You know, so if you actually saw it in your hangar in white box, then the month later you logged in and it's got all the beautiful textures on it and everything else. You actually see your ship being made and being developed in game. What's the harm in that?
Oh, there's a lot of harm in that because then you get people who don't know about it thinking, oh, right, so Star Citizen ships are supposed to look like something that came out of the Nintendo 64?
True, but we already get that anyway, don't we? We can't control the masses.
Yeah, you can't not do something because people are too stupid to understand things.
I'm just saying that there are certain things that they don't want to do just because the risk is too great.
Harming the project.
Yeah, I get that's why they don't do it, but I feel like it's a little bit of a shame because they've set that precedent now. Whereas maybe if early on in the stage they showed stages like that, maybe people would understand it more. So
maybe they just need to have another show on YouTube that just shows the current ships they're working on, what state they're in big detail. Just have like half an hour of a modelers or texturers screen capture and
I think they should that to do people. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, kind of did have it. I mean, it's just because we've had a couple of weeks now with the burn down, out the studio report, kind of detailed studio report that we got used to having. It kind of feels that we're kind of lacking. And just that kind of the joy of being able to see a lot more, because they showed us a lot more of the white box and the grey box, and they showed us the animations, didn't they, in the studio reports? And we've kind of not had that for a few weeks now. I think it's a little bit, for me anyway, I'm getting a bit of a withdrawal symptoms from not having seen that content. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the thing.
I am.
I'm like, where's
a lot of people have very short memories when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Don't you agree, man, is that it's going to be really good when it eventually then comes, you know? You see what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm waiting for something, and the longer I wait, the more excited I get. It could work the other way around as well, but in most
depends.
When it then is there, you think, oh, nice, man. I haven't seen it for a while. This looks fucking sexy. Or you could say, oh, this is shit, you know. But that is, I think it will be there. You know, you mean like we had the Drake ships. And they did a lot on the Cutlass. They did a lot of things on it, and then it died down a bit more. I think what Darsh has, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes at the end of a ATV, where you say, "Hey, these ships we're working on. This is what happened with it. Deal with it." That's it.
That's the problem. The reason we're not seeing that is because of what I just said. They don't want to show anything off in an unfinished state. They want to get as close to polished to showing it, and I think that's the shame, because we were supposed to be seeing the development phase, but because of people whining and crying and saying this doesn't look great, or every time they show a HUD and then go, oh, the HUD looks crap, people cry about it, and then we don't, so they don't see it, they don't show us it until later on down the stage.
They do, fuck if they don't, basically.
Yeah, it's a catch-22, definitely. They can't do anything about it.
that's why you have to grow a bit of a thick skin and just kind of like. I think they just gotta. Literally, at the end of the day, Chris has been very clear. When he first came out, he said, "Look, I'm building a game for me. You guys backing me. You're backing my dream. We can all fucking bitch and moan, but at the end of the day, it's what Chris and the guys ultimately believe in. And whatever happens, we're all going to be left a little bit disappointed. There's going to be things in the game that we don't necessarily like, but hopefully there's going to be a majority of it will be stuff that we do like and we do enjoy, and we just get on with it and have a really fun experience, you know?
Absolutely.
And
I mean, eventually you'll be able to do the things you do like and avoid the things you don't like. You can choose to do that. And it goes back to the first crevet. The first crevet is always the one that you need to send people to, where it says they're building the game and they're going to make sure that it's, you know, the quality is always going to be the overall thing. And if there's something they think isn't ready and they want to make it better, they don't care about dates, they don't care about holding off. They're going to stick to that. And I agree.
I might want to do PvP right now, because PvP at the moment, current game mode for 2.6 is great. Let's just say 3.0 comes out. We only have 24 people. Worlds are massive. It takes me 4 hours to find anybody. My PvP, my PvP experience is going to be shit, because I'm not going to be fighting humans. I'm going to be fighting NPCs. That's not really what I want to do. I will probably end up having to disappear off into Arena Commander to engage with humans to keep my skill level where I need it to be for hopefully for the future when they bring the PvP back again. So, and I will end up switching my gameplay mechanics to maybe more exploration, maybe more cargo. Ultimately, I think with this game, as we're going through the process, you have to be flexible. You have to be able to change with the game as the game's changing. I think if you stay rigid, you will just get bored, and then maybe you can just go away, come back again later. Like people have already done.
Just test everything new that comes in. I know when they were giving us patches quite often, it was a case of, this is exciting because we just get to test a little new feature, nothing major, but something fun. Now we're waiting for the one big patch. We've had a year of 2.6 and everyone's bored of it. I'm bored of it. 3.0 will bring a lot, and then hopefully this Delta patch will allow us to have more increments of little things that we can all play with. And yeah, it may not, like you say, it may not be something that you want to do, but playing with it and testing it will help the development of the game.
But this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're not now playing to get the game. We're paying to help them test,
to make it a better game.
This again goes back to what I was saying. This is like, people keep saying it's a game, and I know you can play it, so technically you can class it as a game, whatever. But it's not. It's a tech demo. That's what we're doing. And when 3.0 comes out, it's still a tech demo. What we're doing.
Tech demo. I wouldn't say tech demo. It's the alpha, but it's in development, because the tech demo is basically just demonstration of what they can do. It's not what they're working on actively to make into the game. It's slightly different terminology, but yes, it's not a game.
Yeah, it's more testing the technology, and that's what they're doing, and implementing different aspects of the technology for us to then test on each patch. Is kind of what I meant, I suppose, by that. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, I know what you mean. Tech demo is more of a finished thing that they've shown off, but yeah.
Somebody just mentioned in chat, which I thought was quite an interesting one. It says, Rilo Star, CIG should bring EA or Ubisoft on board to get Chris Roberts back onto a proper schedule.
No.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. I think so many times that we've been burned by EA.
Shoot him now.
I
think you missed Kappa at the end of that.
I think what he's trying to... Yeah, I was going to say Kappa, yeah, exactly. I think what you're trying... No, I completely agree with the guys here. That's not a good idea. But I do think what you're saying is like, sometimes not being held accountable to a timeline and stuff does mean you just get carried away and just carry on and go on and go on and go on and go on, you know, forever. I think, unfortunately, with it being open development, they do actually have us whipping them. So, you know, eventually they do have to give us something. They can't just, you know, we are the publishers ultimately, so we do hold them to a high standard. It's not like they're completely free to do what they want all the time.
Well, no, what we do say, they take in, like they said, they always read forums, read even Reddit, even though
and they have people watching the podcasts, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
They always are taking our
and they change it as they see fit. Obviously, they're not going to take everything we say and go like, okay, because it could just be opinion, it could just be someone favors it in a certain way, but it is important that they listen to us, which they do so. And I agree with the way it's being developed. Yeah, they've made mistakes, but they're still doing it in the way that they originally set out to do it. But the problem is we're getting new backers who don't know the original path, and see it and sort of compare it to a normal game, like a normal development game with a producer and so forth, which it is going to fail on because it's being developed in a completely different way. It's a catch-22 all the time. You can't please everyone. You just got to please me, basically.
Well, no, he's just got to please. You got to please Chris Roberts, which, like we've said right at the start, he said he's building his game, and that's what he's going to. If you don't like it, well, it's tough because that's his game that he wants to make. He said, he didn't say he's making a game for you. He said he's making a game for himself that everybody else can play. So
there's a very high possibility that at the end of this whole development experience, and I'm not going to lie, I could get a game that I really don't want to play. I've enjoyed the roller coaster ride, the fun experience of getting to it, but it could, at the end of the day, the game could be released, and I could just go, this isn't the game that I wanted. I don't like this.
True.
Thank you so much for the memories. It's been wonderful. And see, I'm going to go play something else. It's perfectly possible, and I don't ever
Hopefully that's not going to happen.
I don't believe.
There is a possibility.
But there is the possibility. I think if anyone says that there's not, I think they're kidding themselves. There is that possibility, but it's a very small possibility. By the time the game's released, I'm going to have probably a Star Citizen tattoo somewhere on my body, I think, at this rate.
I was so close to getting a hint of Star Citizen into this one when I got it in April, but I kind of chickened out at the last point.
Well, you didn't put an Aurora at the bottom.
I don't blame
maybe a mirror on this side will be something Star Citizen related.
So I just was going to bring up, have you guys seen the clothing Sandy tweeted from Jeremiah Lee?
I saw a bit of it, quite upper class. Do you reckon that's terror stuff?
What do you guys think of? Like the clothing styling? I mean, it's a very small capsule. Again, I don't want to kind of read too much into it because it's a very small section of. Looks like he's obviously got hundreds of clothing options here.
Well, he did say a while back. I don't know if it was on someone's podcast or on ATV. I can't remember. But basically, he said that because they're like concept designers, they're chucking out and working on lots of different designs over and over again. He said. And the animators or the people putting it into the program to make them are like going, look, please just stop. We can't do that many. So they have tons more available than is necessarily being converted into the game. He did say that. So they're just, I suppose what he does is he just keeps working on designs, and then Chris Roberts or someone look at it and go, that hits the mark. I want that in or whatever. So
here's my question then. Here's my question to you guys then. I love it when people say things like that in chat. I'll come back to your question, Big Ben, in a second because I love answering that question. If you could take one item of clothing that you want your character to wear besides a spacesuit, what would it be? Like a casual piece of clothing? What would be your favorite? What would be your thing that you would want for your character?
A duster coat.
A hoodie. Yeah. A hoodie.
A hoodie. Okay.
A hoodie, man.
I just want that sort of rugged. Not technically leather, but just like a normal looking combat style coat and combat pants. When Chris was like, stop making fucking combat trousers, I was like, no, I want as many combat choices as I can have. I want to be that sort of, not a full-on duster, but a ragged looking, comes out and he's got beards and scars and not multiple beards. I don't think you know.
Beards. We won't know.
Maybe there's still 930 years to go. Maybe there's.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe that's the fashion. In the
we saw 3 boobs in Total Recall, so
yeah, 2 beards is the next step.
You can grow a beard downstairs and wear short pants. Papa.
As long as you can put sunglasses on it, it all counts.
But I think what we saw in the JLE stuff, I reckon that, because don't forget you're going to have different styles depending on the location. So you'll have like the blue collar, the white collar, what's the external, the people living on the fringes. Terra will have a very much long gown, like what we saw in Firefly, which I can't think of the actual term. Or where they were.
Brown coats?
No. I mean the sort of upper class. Where the prostitute lady was sort of dancing.
Parka.
Shit, what they called?
Yeah,
Parka.
But them,
they were like companions.
Companions.
Yeah, that was it. And they were like, they were like, it was like, very, very. It was like old school kind of Victorian-esque styling, kind of meets.
Yeah, the old school. And I think it's going to be cool because when you go to these places, that's where you'll buy that type of clothing. But also, if you want to fit in, if you want to blend in, if you're like tracking someone, you don't want to stand out with your rugged-looking, messy fringe duster coat when you're on a place where everyone's dressed all smartly. You know, you want to be able to blend in. So you'll have to buy that sort of clothing just to have for that scenario.
I think that's a good point, because we were talking about the whole luxury ship and that influence in NPCs. Do we think the same will happen with the clothes as well?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, you're going to have multiple outfits just to land on certain, not just to land on it, but to be more accepted.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're dressed like all pompous and land in the butthole of the universe, I think you're gonna get robbed in like 0.3 of a second.
In a 600i.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello,
hello, lower classes.
I don't need a gun because your bullets just bounce around me.
Something actually that we were talking about a while back about Ben's Day chat. And he mentioned, and we know about the X1, obviously, and the 300 revamp, but they also mentioned there was an Origin rover planned.
Yes.
Which is...
He said basically to go with the 600i because it's supposed to come with one, so...
Well, I'm looking at the 600i concept image right now, and it has the RSI Ursa.
Yeah, Ursa, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of struck me as odd because it doesn't fit in stylistically.
No. No, that must just be a placeholder then for the brochure, I guess.
Yeah.
Just to sort of...
Well, Ben did confirm that they were going to do a 600i, an Origin rover, so yeah. As well as the Origin, is it the X1? That's the Origin as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. The bike style thing. Like
bike thingy-majig. I think you talked about that last time?
I don't like it. I have to say, I don't like the concept of that. No.
I like it. It looks a bit... I'm not a fan of sleek and posh things, but... It looks cool. Oh, really? Okay.
And I love the new Origin styling because it is the closest thing to the next generation era of Star Trek ships. All with all the swoopy, sleek lines and everything. So
I have to say, I did like the 600i. It looked nice.
I think it should fly backwards.
That's what I said about the Merchantman.
Did you? Yeah, no, true.
There was a period where they thought that the back was the front. Basically,
right? Yeah.
Which I wouldn't like. I like the idea how it is with the nose and the seats and top. There was a lot of speculation where the pilot seat would be as well. I don't know if they ever came to a conclusion by now, but I don't think they did. Yeah.
For the 600.
For the 600, yeah. No, for the Bano, for the Merchantman.
Oh, for the Bano, I think it's somewhere at the top and the rear third of the ship. So I think there's a cutaway
through here like this, and then you'll eventually get to it.
They still haven't worked on it yet, have they? So
no,
it's still far away.
Very much in production. We don't know where it will end up.
2018, but I don't care either. The later the better, because all the ships that come out later are better because they learned from everything before. But I don't think it's going to. They planned it for the beginning quarter one of 2018. I don't think it's going to be there at quarter one 2018.
For the 600i?
No, for the Bano Merchantman.
Bano, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But, I don't know. I mean, the ship team seem to be working quite quick, and if they've finished all the Squadron 42, they could get it out. But it's going to be a case of just hopefully getting it in game as soon as possible.
Remember, they gave it to Manchester.
What does the schedule
it's going to be 3 times the size.
Right. Yeah.
Love the UK.
So
let's just make it bigger.
I mean, I thought Texas was supposed to do that, like they're making everything bigger.
Texas tend to make like the biggest steaks,
We've learnt from them. We supersize and everything now. You see, so bring it over to Manchester. So talking of big ships, another thing, but there's not much information to go on, so it's kind of just a little thing. But another thing on the Batgirl interview was that the big ship, the game changer as they like to call it, which is probably going to wear very thin after a while, is going to be a big ship, and it's going to be for a civilian job. So I think maybe just a big roadside sweeper.
Your game changer and my game changer, different things. That's the thing.
What, you don't think roadside sweeping is important?
I don't think so. No.
They don't have even roads yet.
I
I
was
mean,
about
they're
to
working
say.
on tech. They showed
Yeah,
it,
good
but they
luck
don't
with
have
that one,
roads
miss.
yet.
Well, you know, it goes in space. It can clear some rubbish out of space.
Space
as well.
roads, then.
Space roads. Like the jump gates, maybe.
You
Keep them clean.
definitely have OCD cleaning, Miz. You are definitely the cleaner of Star
Stick all the
Citizen.
space dust up.
To be honest, I mean, the main reason is I have no idea what ship it could be.
No.
I
It's-
don't
it's-
either.
To be honest.
A lot of people think it's going to be something to help civilians build bases.
Okay.
Like some form of terraforming, but after a terraforming has been complete.
What, maybe
Like a
something
3D,
carries
like a huge
space.
3D printer that lands, sits there for a
3D,
while.
3D printer ship, that would be so cool. You could print yourself a 600i for half the cost.
I'm going to shoot a missile, but it's just printing at the moment.
Prince. Prince.
Yeah,
Wow.
no,
I have
just
no idea.
a ship that lands somewhere, sits there for a few days, takes off, and in its place is a base.
It sounds like it is going to be something that requires a lot of civilians to run it, to sort of crew it. I don't think it's going to be a simple case of 6 crew. It sounds like there's going to be even like it could even be a sort of ship that is used to transport multiple, like hundreds of civilians. But no,
It's still, but that's still not a game changer. That's still something we've already.
Yeah,
you know,
the
like people are
Starlight
saying,
is
like
already
a crane or a big cargo
crane
ship.
ship.
All of that's still mechanics that we've got.
portable.
I've had two suggestions given, which were quite interesting. One was exactly the same thing, was a building ship of some kind. So builds either vehicles or builds something. The other one was a bio-organic ship.
A bioorganic ship.
What
as
would
in
that change? It's not
biomechanic.
civilian. What's the civilian part of that? And
I don't know. That was before, I think, the civilian.
Don't ask him that.
So like a farming ship, or
No, it was like literally like an organic kind of ship. I think they didn't know that this whole thing that's going to be a civilian ship came in. I think so. Now the civilian things come in. I think it's probably less
a
likely.
ship that grows Benny's noodles.
What
Yeah, that
about
would be cool,
what about like a ship transporter? So you can fly your Aurora in like you get like ferries where you can drive your cars in and it takes you from place to place.
Yeah.
Maybe a ship transporter so you can actually load your own ship in, a single-seater ship, maybe a Cutlass Freelancer at the biggest.
if
And
it is
that's
as
what
well
I thought
oversold
the hulls were supposed to already be capable of that.
Hulls, I think they said would have the option to do that, wouldn't they? But yeah, that wouldn't necessarily be a full ship. That would be a broken down sections of ships.
I would
Alright.
say that was.
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, he said he's not overplaying it. Like Batgirl specifically said, you've been known to overplay things and make it sound a lot better than it is, and he
Yeah,
said
he
he's
does.
not.
He hypes
So,
things.
we'll see. It could well be something to do with. I think maybe it's going to be closer on the building front. Maybe something that can build stuff. Maybe mobile build stuff. I don't know.
Like a McDonald's, portable McDonald's place.
No, not
food
build
truck.
a burger. Food
Yeah,
truck.
yeah, definitely. Taco truck.
Help build components for outposts or something like that, possibly. But
That's
anyway,
it, no.
we like I said, we have not really got any more
Building-
information, so it's
I think a building ship would be cool. Honestly,
we've got like a repair thing, so it's not
But
far.
that
off.
would mean, as soon as that ship is introduced as, working in game, that would mean that players will get to choose where they build their own outposts. So
Yeah.
it won't be just predetermined by the CIG
Unless it's
level designers.
unless it's a space station type of thing,
It's a
not
floating
a planet base, but an actual
insurance
space
ship.
base.
I'm thinking
What if
building
it's
a space station.
What if it's a terraformer?
That would be great. A terraformer would be amazing.
Ben did say that too many planets have already been
Yeah,
terraformed,
no.
so it's.
I
it's not gonna
think
be
I
that.
think it's actually going to be a case of if you are in the fringes of nowhere or planet side and you need a ship making, they could, your insurance. You have to go to a certain insurance broker to get a ship. They would be able to come to you and drop your ship off. A floating
about
insurance ship.
3D printed on the way.
Yeah, yeah. Plastic ship.
what about
I need another one.
what about if it was like a floating water world type of experience, like a fun park ship,
Oh, we already have
park
that
of
with
Oh, ship.
a theme park ship? Do you know what I mean? How
have
cool
the-
would that be? Like a massive theme park ship where you can go and you can go down
Disneyland
flumes.
in space.
Disneyland in space.
It's
No,
it's
we
it's like those
already,
traveling circuses or
That's
Luna
with
parks or
Space Kitten.
whatever.
Space Kitten
That was
Land.
You already have the Endeavor where you could basically
Bouncy castles.
create center parks in the big domes. You know what I mean?
That's a center
Yeah,
park.
You heard it here first, guys.
we thought
Space
it's a
Kitten
greenhouse, but no, it's a big top tent or whatever it's called for a
hotel
circus.
ship. Exactly, a hotel ship with a daisy. Yeah, we could have like all different kind of restaurants and like food,
Yeah, I can see that.
resort,
Hookers.
theme park.
Like a cruise liner.
Yeah, but more than that, though, just like a giant city that's just for
A mobile
theme park.
station, basically.
Yeah, like a massive.
Or
station.
maybe it will be Lost in Paradise.
We sound like we're trying to actually create ourselves a ship. And we're like,
Yeah,
oh,
we just
CEOs
get all the
just trying
best
to put
bits and
ideas
glue it
down.
together,
Yeah.
and then you've just got this flying monstrosity that's 3D printing Hello Kitty
chop chop.
cats
Yeah.
in space on a top hat with a water slider.
It's the fifth element, exactly.
And
Oh,
terraforming
so
on the
much
way. Yeah. Okay, so
Plumbing
we'll move on from that.
Yeah, oh no.
Just keep guessing, guys, in chat. Just keep throwing guesses. It's like listening.
We've
to
got to
what
hit
you
it.
think.
Like law of averages, we've got to get
Exactly.
there sooner or later.
Send
Someone's
all
gonna
your-
get
It's like
close.
a million monkeys on a million typewriters will, in a million years, write the collected works of Shakespeare.
Yeah, so 77 monkeys watching a podcast.
Yeah,
We can
we'll
get-
eventually guess what ship Ben is talking about.
And when we do guess it, we won't freaking know anyway.
They'll change it. They'll be like, all right, they'll guess it. Let's change it up.
Oh, disposable hero! Don't let the community going to end up like Homer's car for 7.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Exactly right. Good job. Good shout.
Okay,
Right.
so
Actually, here's a question for you guys, because I was looking on Reddit, and I hate
my
when
God.
I read this sort of stuff. I know on Reddit, but this person says, "Hi Reddit, sorry to be a
Hi.
total noob,
Hello.
but I could do with some points. My first 15 minutes have been probably the worst 15 minutes of
Oh
any
my life.
alpha or any game that I've ever experienced.
lies.
My experience so far, I've been purchasing problems galore, terrible. He talks about saying how the game sucked, not knowing how to fly, can't seem to find a tutorial. Everything online seems to be really old. Can somebody give me some pointers on what is a brand new player? Any tips? People weren't very helpful. He said something about people in the game telling them to get good. I would never do such a thing.
Who would do such a
Did he
thing,
really
Madness?
do
such a
it?
thing,
Madness
man.
by any chance?
I would never do such a thing. I was wondering, does anyone know anyone? But the problem is a lot of people, I myself especially, have been refraining from doing any sort of tips and video guides because we're so, in theory, supposed to have been so close to 3.0 for a year. I feel like it's a lot of people have just not done it because we've been expecting 3.0 constantly every month, pretty much. And it's like, oh my God, a year's gone by and there's no content being given to people.
It is pointless making tutorial videos, as miserable as fucking.
Yeah, I've done a few,
I did so many,
and then
like,
it
I did
changed,
too.
and then it had to do
I
it
did
all
too.
again.
Yeah,
And then I
and
did
then
it
still
again.
no 3.0.
Yeah,
things will change. Things are going to change. More mechanics will come in that will just change things up. So
This is whose responsibility ultimately. This is the thing I was wondering. Is it our responsibility, the community, ultimately to be creating tutorial videos for people to make things simple, or is
No.
that responsibility should, in theory, be on CRG?
it's our
CRG,
responsibility while it's alpha. Because, and I mean, this person that says they've played loads of alphas, well, what ones? Because I've played quite a few early access, which is beyond alpha in some ways, and they don't give you tutorials. They really don't, and it's watch other people and learn that way. No, I'm not saying that CRG shouldn't, but they said they're not. It's not their focus. They have said this. They did a tutorial. It didn't work. They said it did more harm than good. So they took it off basically. But you can already see in the
Chris
new.
Roberts actually said recently, I think it was in an interview with a German magazine or something, that 3.0 will be akin to early access. I think it was Eurogamer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just seen that
3.0
article,
is
I
going
haven't
to
read it
be.
yet, but yeah.
This is one of the reasons why they are taking so long over it, is because 3.0 will be the portal to Star Citizen. It's going to be the demonstration of what the game is ultimately going to feel like and play like, which is why they're taking so long over it. And it's important that they have got this tutorial hints system for new players, because we know, the thing is, back when they were creating the alphas, like the hangar module and stuff, there wasn't a lot of information they needed to put out there, and they told us, because everyone was watching Wingman's hangar and things like that, so they told us how to do it, and they showed us how to do it. When there's more millions coming in, and then again new people coming in, 3.0 we'll see a big insurge of new gamers. Yes, it is kind of our job to do that. We take it upon ourselves, but it's not our job per se to educate the people on how to play the game. It is up to CIG when it gets to 3.0 to actually show using a hint system, which I think is a good way of doing it. It seems to work. You know, just like you see in any game you get, any new game you play, the first 10 minutes is a tutorial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You play through this little section with hints and tips and what key to press. And I think it's important to have that. It's not our job, but we take it upon ourselves to do so, and they enjoy that. I like that.
Yeah, and like they said, really, like the fact that I've done tutorials 3 times and like published it then unpublished it because it's changed is exactly the same reason why CIG hasn't done it, because it's like they probably think 3.0 is just around the corner. There's no point me putting out a tutorial and then it changing a few days later. So
what do you guys think about the fact that you guys play this game trial and error, right? At the end of it.
For what
we didn't have it. Well, all of us didn't really have a tutorial, and we got it done. I think it's coming back on Madness's original thing. You know, it's the person itself as well. You know, I don't want to burn the person down that posted this on Reddit, but it's on you if you get discouraged by what people say, or if you draw power out of what people say. You know, people could tell me I'm a prick. I could say, or I could think, oh, they think I'm an asshole. You know what I mean? It's the person itself as well. I think that is on the other side of it, and everyone's different. Don't get me wrong. You know, but not every tutorial will work for every person as well. Some people need to hear things. Some people need to see things before they understand things. So it's pretty hard to.
Yeah, we all learn
with every game. You know what I mean? Learn how to play it. And if a game is too easy and they hand out things to you too easily, and that's just my opinion, guys. Yeah, I wouldn't want to play the game. The harder the game is, and I had it with World of Warcraft in its original days. You needed spreadsheets to get the highest DPS out. That's what I like to see in games. You know, not like every Harry and Harry short surname can do it. You know what I mean? No.
There needs to be
telemetry. For example, with the racing telemetry, you know, get better, learn, teach yourself, get better, or sometimes drop. You know, go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
There needs to be There needs to be a basic understanding of what key does what.
Yeah.
But the grind will not be in learning how to play the game. The grind will be in learning the mechanics that you then execute in trading, in dogfighting, which comes with time and skill, because it's not an MMO like a traditional one where you learn a skill and then you suddenly get better at the actual thing you're trying to work on. That is the grind, where you're going to have to do, like, say, for example, mining. If you're going to be mining, you need to be able to locate where the mineral deposits are, which will get better over time. You'll get better at scanning, but that is through doing it, through experience, not through a ranking system. But for new players, there needs to be a very basic example of what button does what, and you know, like how to get into your ship, how to start your ship up. Because it's like when I played Armor for the first time. It was a shambles, and it put me off the game. But
they've got the hint system. They've got the hint system coming, so it'll be interesting to see. I'll be interested to see if that is intuitive, and also I want them to be able to switch that off, of course, as well.
Yes. No. Yeah. I'm right. Yeah.
I don't want the hint system all the time. That would be annoying.
Yeah, I think overall you got to have a balance, but I mean we've all agreed for a long time that the website's pretty shit. It's got trying to find stuff, trying to find where you buy your ship, where you buy the starter package, what it all means is not that easy. And the same within the game, it isn't new player friendly at the moment. We all know that, and CIG also know that. They are aware, and that's why they've gone down this hint system thing. Like I said, they don't want to spend time doing a tutorial because of all the changes. So this is like kind of the balance we're getting the hint system. So yeah, it's a bit rough for new players at the moment. The best thing they can do is either just trial and error like a lot of us did, or you just, even some of the old tutorials that are on the website, they're kind of relevant. Or you just look, you look it up. Like, I know some people for example, my dad tried to play the game and he got into the ship and he sat on the pilot seat and then he was stuck. Because he's like, well, how the fuck do you get out of the pilot seat? And if you look on the key things, it press F. It's not press F, you have to hold F down. And there's nothing that tells you that. So no amount of trial and error, sometimes you sit in there spamming the button, you don't find it. So it's not great. It is to be honest, it's not great. But hopefully with the hint system in 3.0, things are going to get brighter and better.
Listen, it's very recognizable though what you say there. You know, I sat there first time that I started playing. How the hell do I open this door? You know,
I still do it now.
Yeah, but it's what I said earlier as well, Ryan. You know, yourself, how intuitive are you? How driven are you to find out something? How driven are you to say type? I can't open door. Ship starts citizen.
You start mashing buttons, you're going to self-destruct your ship.
Yeah, there is an element of that. Eject. No, that's not what I clicked.
It's no longer F4, it's Alt backspace. What's the key to get out of your ship? Alt backspace. Oh, thank you.
Yes,
But
boom.
it's all a learning curve at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And
Yes,
for me, there's a lot of joy in finding out these things as well. I don't know how other people feel about that. But
Not when I want to take. Where do I get my ship from?
No, but it's okay to find your way around the world, but having to blindly figure out what key on your controller does what, that does need a hint system. That
shit, yeah, definitely.
That ruins the game experience because then you start doing stupid
Yeah, I plugged the joysticks in and I've literally used someone else's profile because every time I look at the key binding list and I think, oh, fucking, what do I put on what button? It's just there's so many buttons, and then you end up
yes,
well,
especially because on a keyboard you do need the entire keyboard because there's just so much stuff. It needs a better way to
express itself.
Teach you this.
Yeah.
Cool. So I don't even know what.
We are all in agreement then.
Yeah. We're in agreement that it's shit, but it's going to get better. I think.
Yeah, we'll have to see what 3.0 brings with the hint.
I think it's just important. I think for the overall, for new people, it's just really important they get it right.
Which is like, I think someone said in chat that earlier, Darjanator said that the 3.0 is meant to be the entrance to technically early access, which is when you are expecting to really get people that are new to the game and joining it and starting to consider it an actual game, even though it's alpha, but it's still, you know, so you want to have some form of system in place for that, I think.
When persistence comes in, the importance of knowing what to do quite early on is quite important, because obviously if it's persistent and you lose your ship or whatever, then you're going to be like, I didn't know what to do. How the fuck?
I can't play the game anymore. I've lost my ship and I've got no money.
You need to know these things before it's going to matter that we lose stuff.
Yeah. Because right now, when you lose a ship, you just go to the terminal and access it again. Yeah, but for new players, ship gets blown up, and then what?
Yeah.
Just because we're on the kind of a bit of because we're in a period of chill down time. I was just thinking about this today, and I was thinking, you know, you've got like in Star Wars, you know, when Obi-Wan Kenobi, his ship, he has the jump drive. It's like the circular bit around his spaceship, and he like leaves it in outer space, and then he lands down on the planet. With persistence, do you think we might get a ship which could do something similar? You know, you leave something outside orbit that you can come back to in your spaceship?
Well, the Constellations kind of could do that. It has the snub fighter. You could arrive in orbit with that and then just take the Merlin down to the surface.
That's the intention, isn't it, of the Merlin, the 85X, the Caterpillar. What do you call it?
The command section
module. Yeah, that's the purpose of those, is so that you don't have to go down with the big ship, because certain ships themselves won't be able to land anyway. So they'll need some method of going transporting people, like Argos and whatnot.
It'd be kind of cool to have that, because then it would create mechanics where people could be trapped on planets if you destroy, you know, the bit in space. You know,
that's true. But again, there'll be security if not on every planet, but if you're in an area of secured space, like I think you'll be able to probably land at a spaceport. This is something they talked about, I think, was going to an orbit port and then leaving your ship there and going into a shuttle to go to planet side, and then obviously you come back. I think it'll be the same as your ship will then probably disappear. I don't know. I don't think they've quite figured that out yet.
A valet service.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean that brings up an interesting idea of so if you've got like your constellation in orbit, obviously now if you log out in a bed, your ship's supposed to disappear, right? And then it'll come back when you come back in. But if you leave it and you're logged in and you fly down on a Merlin, is the constellation going to stay in orbit and your Merlin going to stay? And then if that's the case, what if you then get, well, I've got 20 ships in my fleet, and you get all 20 of your fleet out and just fly it around the planet? Are they all going to stay there? Or
I think they said that if there's people around, if there's people around that instance or that area, then it will persist. So if you just try and go to sleep and log off as quickly as possible while there's people in the area, then you won't be able to.
Yeah,
the ship will persist if people are.
But I mean more of if you're logged in. So if you're in your if you've left your Connie out in orbit and you fly down in your Merlin, what happens to it? Does it stay there? Because obviously, if you're exploring a planet and you want to go back to your ship, not for it to disappear.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it will remain there just for you, just because because space is huge, and not everyone is supposed to be bumping into each other all the time.
Space is weird.
Space be crazy.
Yeah, no, that's true. But this is where it comes back to scanning. I'm also very excited to see the scanning mechanics. For, say, for example, with the Carrack, with this, will the Carrack be able to scan a whole world plus the outside of a world to be able to tell you what is in the vicinity, or will it be very directional? So it can still only scan like a 1/10 of a planet or 1/10 of like an area. It would take you like 4 days to scan the entire system, type of thing. I'm very interested to see those mechanics, how they work.
Right, and to follow up on that, like if you leave your constellation in orbit, you would probably take steps to power everything down, and then it's basically acts like an asteroid is just a hunk of metal in space, very hard to detect. Yeah. But your computer in the Merlin remembers where it is, and you're able to then find it easily enough.
So we think technically all your stuff will stay there.
But couldn't you get trapped into an orbit, though? Wouldn't you technically then be moving around like a satellite or with a station? I suppose moons can be stationary, though, can't they? They can actually not move if you're outside. This is the sort of shit that these people have to deal with because they're making it surreal. Can you imagine?
Yes. Orbital mechanics is something that I want them to include, but it's kind of like for them to create a system on the levels of Kerbal Space Program, I think is far too complex for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think there will be orbits for stations and ships. I think everything will be in a geosynchronous orbit, no matter what the altitude is, which doesn't really work in real life. But
that's okay. You can suspend disbelief for a few.
Yes.
The game. Here's my next thing in terms of being able to get from, say, for example, you're in a station. Do you think like in Mass Effect, at the end of Mass Effect, they had the ability to beam you from the planet to the station, like a light, kind of like a beaming up kind of thing? Do you think that we'll be able to do that type of thing? Yeah, like a hitchhiker, where you'll be able to not necessarily beam me up, Scotty type of thing, but maybe for stations you'll be able to go from say for example a city station, you'll be able to go from a satellite in space and you'll be able to get a transport that takes you directly down to the planet through either a beam of light or potentially a shuttle
think we're
system.
Going to get that.
I think space elevator is the closest we'll get.
A space elevator. Yeah. Okay. That's what I
think because that's what the Argo and stuff was meant to kind of be for, like a shuttle bus. I think that's the closest you get to it.
But only in space, because it doesn't have any. I don't think the Argo has, orbital escape velocity.
No, a shuttle has been discussed when they were talking. I can't remember when it was, but they were discussing about hangars and how people are going to order their big ships from, when we finally get hangars on planets. And they said, well, you'll order a big ship. It'll be at an orbital spaceport that you will then go out, get a shuttle to that port, and then you'll be able to get in your ship. I don't think it's ever going to be a case of teleportation.
Yeah, we don't even have stealth, so
yeah, that's true. That is true.
I mean, we will have stealth, as in hiding your missions, but no, like invisibility cloaks and shit like that.
No invisibility cloaks.
Even though that's what's being developed already, isn't it?
Kinda, yeah. It's a bit shit, but yeah.
Some form of I know what you mean. But I was just curious about it because I was just thinking, again, it's the Expanse. When they had the Mars landing on Earth, they had like the ships. Obviously had it. And I was just wondering if it'll be more physical based kind of transport, like Starliners. Going from planet to station. Starliners will be running backwards and forwards like a bus system, and you'll be able to get on a bus.
Because then the Expanse, didn't they? They had like little shuttles that took them down from the main ship, didn't they? They didn't. Well, they kind of wasn't it like a drop thing that dropped in from out of space into orbit, and then I can't remember.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again, but I'm reminded of like Star. Obviously, the new one when Doc and when the Doc and Kirk are going up to the station where the Enterprise is being built and stuff. You know, they go up on a shuttle. You know,
Yep.
and that's what I'm just thinking. If there'll be more of, I kind of like. I know it sounds a bit like, you know, me being a pirate and all, but I kind of like the idea of, you know, being a bit of a tourist for a day. That would be quite fun. Just to kind of like take one of those, go down
Have a
to the
word with
planet.
Lio.
Space taxi, yeah.
Yeah, space taxi. Yeah, just kind
Or
I like the
space
idea
Uber.
of it. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. It'd be quite fun. I'll probably be in chains at the time in a yellow jumpsuit, I think.
Yeah. We finally caught him.
That'll-
Shooting all those damn auroras.
that'll be I'll
The
be in
Aurora
chains.
Bandit.
I'll be in chains. In
Well,
chains.
from today's performance, he's not going to be much of a bandit. The Aurora took him out. So.
That was hilarious. That was funny as fuck, yeah. But people don't realise there was about 5 minutes of desync before.
Yeah,
There you go.
of course
And
it
being
was.
rammed
Of course
by
it
it
was.
didn't help.
Yeah.
It was all rammed. I love the fact that I got rammed by an Aurora. That's the best thing. It was very funny.
You having special days lately, haven't you? Been rammed, 3 days sucking. What was?
3 days
Secret
ago,
Saturday.
Now he's in the hotel room.
Oh
it's
my
just
god!
dirty. Everything's just ramming and sucking.
Is the wife watching at the moment, or?
Yes, she probably is, yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, better not
apologies.
move the camera around too much. I
He's
want
got
to see what's
he's got the
off
phone
frame.
effects all set up anyway.
Pay-per-view.
Do they still do pay-per-view?
That's
Why?
you
Well, you have free internet. Why
Yeah,
pay-per-view?
That's why that's premium internet.
It's all
there.
softcore stuff.
All right. Okay. So let's get back on top. So the main focus.
Back on
Let's
Back
go
on
back
topic.
on top.
I think we haven't actually spoken about anything on topic.
We haven't got to ATV yet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's go to ATV. Let's go to the main topic, which is stamina.
So the
right?
main
Let's do
topic
that.
is breathing. So we're all
Yeah.
just going to have another
Yes.
half hour of just breathing at you all at different processes.
Okay, can I get like a
beatbox?
what's everyone's initial just like gut feeling around the table, gut feeling on the stamina system, the way that they presented it? What's your first feelings on?
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it.
I'm thankful people won't be able to bunny hop and sprint all over the
Yes.
place and still be able to shoot you in the
Dominate.
face.
Yeah,
Yes.
damn right.
Definitely,
Okay,
I agree
so-
with that.
Although I would like some sort of they said they will never do it, but I want to have some sort of leveling up system, because if you spend a lot of time running and jumping, you should be able to get better at it. I mean, if I, who am
Yeah.
like a world-renowned couch potato, go against Usain Bolt, you know, someone who likes to run,
Yeah,
I would be able
think-
to keep up, but
yeah.
I would if I dedicated years of my life training towards that goal.
The issue is everyone has the same body type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna you're all gonna be way healthier than
Superhumans.
we are now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
basically.
kind of like we're gonna look at it and be like, I'm jealous of my own fucking avatar. What's going on there?
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah,
that's
I guess yeah.
I think that's what it'll boil down to, is that technically we're all fit humans that have been put through the mill so
Genetically
that we're actually
engineered.
allowed to be able to fly a ship. Maybe it's like, you know, part of the
900 years in the
citizenship
future,
thing. You've got to be
all
fit
those
enough to
fat
actually fly a
bastards are
ship.
dead.
So, to answer Madness's first thing, I think I can't.
Just
You've got to see
I
how
wanna know
it's
what that
implemented. But my
raw-
first thing is, I think it's good in an initial thought, because there's too much running. They want the game. It goes closer to their vision. They want the game a slower paced game, and that would certainly do it.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's
the
my
audio
initial thought.
needs a lot of work, but the actual implementation of what they're achieving for a first iteration, especially, is going to change FPS completely to more in the better direction.
Right, more tactical, less bunny hopping.
Yes.
And something I want to back for a this sort of stamina indicator is, you know, in the very first FPS demonstration they showed, you had the visor down and you could see your breath on the glass. Remember that? I want that back. Damn it.
Yeah, that I hope they get that in there for 3.0, because that
don't
looks
you
so
think-
cool.
Like that sort of thing, though. So this is kind of spinning off, but with the whole. So obviously they've said that everything's going to be part of having it realism versus fun and balance. Like and so I think at the moment with the heavy breathing, like I don't want to walk around, because you said you're going to use stamina when walking around. I don't want to walk around with like just constantly hearing my player breathe heavy
It's just,
breathing into the. It's just that sound is just going to get
Does
on
it
my
make
nerves.
you? Does it make you wetter? Yeah, is
And
that what it
then,
is?
and then is you going to be the same with if you had like a fogged up
Doesn't like-
breath all the time? Isn't that going to be the same? You just never like we tried to get these good computers and good graphics, so we got everything looks beautiful, and then it's all just a mist because you
Yeah, it's
keep
like what
breathing on your
Canuck says.
visor.
If you're exploring on foot, you're going to be walking a lot. And it is, like you say, it is that balance. And I just hope that what they'll do is they'll implement a first basis for what we're used to now, where you'll walk around after the first 10 minutes, you'll be 2 minutes, you'll be completely knackered. And they'll be like, that's too much. Let's extend that. And they'll keep extending it until it's more realistic. Because you can actually jog for a good 10, 50, like, especially if your avatar is that healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Sol. I've got you covered.
I'm a fat fucker. Remember this.
If you're going to the shop for rum, you can run at the fucking top speed and get it quick.
10 minutes it took me, but I see what Ryan means. Make the comparison to a game like Hellion, for example, because stamina is something in Hellion that doesn't really affect it because you don't run big distances. That's where Star Citizen is really different. But I don't know, man. And how far do you want to when it comes to immersion? And I'm an immersion.
Yeah,
But
this
then
is
how
my,
far do you
this
want
is
to
my
go?
worry a little bit.
It should only apply to combat, or it should really affect combat more than anything. I don't think if you're just exploring, it should have that. But didn't they say a while ago? Sorry,
right now they said that normal walking pace when you're wearing light armor or medium armor, your stamina regeneration will be higher than what you use up, so you won't be getting out of breath. But if you start running or if you get heavy armor on, then it'll slowly you'll use up more than you can regenerate.
Well, I heard it was
And
something
that's
like
how
2
your
hours,
heart rate gets up.
2 hours for walking. Potentially, if you start sprinting and
Idle
heavy,
will use
it could be
stamina.
10. Yeah, it could be 10. And then they talked about how if you're idle, the stamina and stuff. Wasn't it the oxygen?
I think it's the oxygen supply in the suit.
Oxygen at idle will last
Generate-
2 hours. Generally, this is just speculation of what they're planning. Oxygen at idle in space will be 2 hours. On a planet running constantly or sprinting constantly, it'll run down in 2 minutes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
But
So
that's,
it's a balance.
not-
They've got to find the in between.
I
It's
think
not.
you-
But
Don't
that-
take that as a
that's-
given. Don't take
Yeah,
that.
but that's all depends on just how much you're carrying around with you in your suit.
Yeah, if you're
Like
carrying
an
miserable.
explorer suit should have more than a flight suit or a combat suit. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
No, true.
It's-
It will all affect it, and that's good.
depending on the combat suit, because for me, if I was building, this is where I've had this conversation with other people on my stream and stuff, the heavy armor should be built to have more oxygen than any of the other combat suits because you know that you're going to be breathing harder.
No. So that is where
It
Hellion
should
comes
have
in,
way-
Madness.
No, it should have more. It should have more hard ports, or either
and-
oxygen tanks, or it should be better. If I'm designing this kit, I know that the guy is going to be breathing harder, so he's going to need more oxygen.
No, that
There's a
is
limit
where
to how much you can carry.
It's not in space, though.
But bear with me, yeah.
Sorry.
Bear with me. And for
That's
comparison
what I
to
feel.
Hellion, yeah. In comparison to Hellion, for example, a industrial armor, let's call it. There are 2 armor types as we speak. The industrial armor has bigger tanks on it because you have to work out in space longer. The combat armor has less because
Yeah, but it's not as heavy though. I'm talking heavy, like the heavy
it's
armor. I'm
lighter
talking about
armor.
the
There
medium
will
armor.
be many different styles of armor. There'll be so, and I wouldn't be surprised if they created some form of armor with a balance, a payoff of some form where you can have like exploration armor will have a lot bigger gas tanks, oxygen tanks to allow you to travel further, but the protection may be less. I see what you're saying by having a heavy armor. It should supply more because they know it's going to weigh more. But
And I wouldn't be surprised, though, that the oxygen tank will be just an attachment point. You could have a big one or have a small one, but then you get another attachment point for something else.
Yeah, you can
Or
carry
maybe
a
just
big-
have several small tanks that can also fit something else apart from an oxygen tank, and that's how you yourself get either more longevity in space or maybe RGB LEDs. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think that's
I
how
know,
the
but
heavy
actually,
armor
can I
would
hear-
work. Like you say, heavy armor could have more you could build it. You don't have the tanks inbuilt, so they're going to be separate. So there's only a limit to what you can carry anyway. So yes, you technically could put big tanks on, but then if you put 2 big tanks on the back of your heavy armor because you know you're going to be using heavy armor, you've got no room for your guns. So that's why the combat one, you know, you've got to have, you could clip tanks all over you.
I've got a solution for you, man. So here's the thing, right? Okay, so we have hard point for ships. We have size 1, size 2, size 3s, blah, blah, blah. You could make it, the heavy armor could carry a size 3 oxygen tank.
I think they will do that in a
yeah, but you're still then giving up room for a gun.
No, but the point is every piece of armor is going to have to carry an oxygen tank. It's just built into it. So you're going to have a size 1 or a size 2 or a size 3. So you could make the exploration suit and carry a size 3 oxygen tank, and the heavy armor could carry a size 3 oxygen tank. The idea is that, you know, both pieces of kit can carry much more efficient, bigger oxygen. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be bigger in size, but it can be a more efficient piece of kit, whereas the medium can only carry a size 2 oxygen tank. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But in that same argument, if your heavy armor and your explorer suit can both take a size 3 oxygen tank, your heavy armor is still going to use it more because he's using heavy armor, so it's heavier and takes more.
He can use it more. I agree. He's going to use it more, but it won't be as bad as if he could only have a size whatever the standard oxygen tank is. That's what I mean.
It's always going to be a trade-off with other things, and as well as fun realism. They need to make sure that there's not one suit that can do everything. So you don't want to have one suit that has heavy armor, lots of oxygen. Everyone will choose it. They need to have a trade-off.
And super light, maybe.
And so, they need to make sure that you have to decide what suit and how much oxygen you need to take for the job that you're doing. It's not just going to be a case of, I want a suit that whatever I decide to do in the next 3 hours, I can work with. You need to think, right, the mission is I need to go and explore this moon to find this. It could take me 2 hours. Let's use an exploration suit because it has a bigger tank. But if you get attacked, am I going to choose a lesser...
I think this is why I'm trying to use the different terminology in terms of size points and hard points. It's like, I want the technology to be better. It doesn't necessarily have to be physically more heavy.
Right.
So, you know, the size...
So you could have, like, more compressed tank, like more compressed oxygen in the same volume container. Right.
Exactly.
Like a Lynx kind of spray.
Exactly. But it's not a question of it's more heavy. It's a better piece of the technology for the heavy. And
that still doesn't make any sense because that's the oxygen tank being better would be better for anybody that picks up that oxygen tank. Same as if you have when you dive and you have a nitro oxide mix and things. So
it could be that it's a more expensive.
What you're thinking of, Madness, is the suit would allow you to breathe better, but there's no technology within that suit, at least that we know of, that's better, that would make your oxygen last longer. The technology is in the tank.
Then you're creating game metas again, as we touched upon earlier, you know, because everyone will certain tank. What I think you want to create at the end of the day is balance, but also, and there comes the word purpose back in again, you know, you want to use a light armor for quick fighting. You want to use a medium armor for a bit heavier. Then you want to use some sort of a constructor's armor if you're going to do, you know. I like to see different purposes.
Yeah, there needs to be that purpose in order for people to make a decision on what they're actually planning to do. And that's, again, sometimes they have to leave logic behind for gameplay purposes. So it would be a good idea what you're saying, Madness. But I think probably be OP for everything else.
I think it's about balance. You'd have to have, obviously, Destiny and other games, almost all games that we have. That's what you have. That's why we're in alpha. That's why we're in early access. That's why you have the balancing system. Yeah. But personally, I don't see why, if they're already creating the hard points, why they cannot make different levels of hard points. I think it would enable you to have
I honestly think they will create different, maybe not in the same scale as weapons. It'll be different for suits, but they will have different sizes, different quality variants, which will cost
just like on a ship, you can have a different quality for the life support system. Like you have industrial, stealth, shit like that. So like Madness was saying, maybe a different kind of class or different type of oxygen tank or whatever for the suit.
It's kind of like we said earlier, isn't it? Like more with the 600i, you know, like the gun, the size 2 gun, not all of them are equal. So I suppose, there may well be a case of, if, you know, your oxygen tanks might not all be equal, or your suits might not be all equal. There might be one better heavy armor than another one and that sort of thing. It's
I just think that if we're talking about realism, I always say the reality is when you're designing something, think of the function and think of the fact that people will be designing for the function. They're going to know the limitations of something. You know that something heavy is going to weigh more, it's going to make you breathe more. So if I'm really making this, I'm going to be thinking about optimizing and trying to make it, one, as light as possible, strong as possible, and also maybe adding more oxygen and that, that kind of thing.
To be fair, we may see that a light armor compared to a heavy armor may have more oxygen capacity than a light armor. That is actually a possibility. There's no reason why they wouldn't do that. It would make sense. The bigger the suit, the bigger the
maybe
space.
big capacity, but with a higher consumption, it actually turns out on average to be exactly the same.
Yeah, true.
And then, but you won't move slower because you got more weight on you and things like that. So
you'll always be like, for fuck's sake, catch up. I told you not to go for the heavy armor. Why are you choosing that?
This kind of brings me on to a little bit of the going on to the worrying about how the sort of realism over the gameplay aspect, because like we're all saying they want the game to be slower and things like that, whereas in Star Marine, I think like Maconat was playing it earlier today, and it's like said, you want people to think about going around the corners, how they're going to run, whether they're going to sprint or not. However, that changes a massive amount when you go to a planet or somewhere that's a lot bigger. Like, so it's all right in a little map having to walk everywhere, but you imagine trying to walk that planet's surface and you can't run. And I know we had the argument of why someone, I think a little while back, argued why use a bike, why use a rover or anything like that. And this, I suppose, will be partly why, because you're going to be going really slow or you can't run, so you're going to need some form of transport, and that will be part of the reason. But again, it's still going to be a lot of balance. It's going to be interesting.
The in-between part of them saying that the FPS, they've always said it's going to be a mix between armor and Battlefield. It's not going to be as ridiculously simulated as armor, but it's going to be fun. It's going to have the funness of Battlefield. And I think if you are looking, like, let's say you're going to recon an area.
Hang on a minute. Did you say the funness of Battlefield?
I love Battlefield, and I play the shit out of that. Are you a COD guy?
Okay, I think the podcast is over right now.
Aren't you? Oh. Can we just mute madness?
I am. I'm a Modern Warfare.
Oh, God.
I don't think you're going to like the FPS, but that's fine because you are good at dogfighting. So
yeah,
I'm more of the armor guy. You know what I mean? I like the tactics. I like the roleplay.
I like a mix between the two. I think it's going to be
I'm enjoying PUBG. I'm enjoying PUBG now, which is a bit like armor. Maybe I'd be converted.
I think it'll be. I think the case is you're gonna, like, as I was saying, you have an example where you've got to recon an area, you've got to get some intel for your team because you need to capture a particular derelict that a group of people are looking after. You don't want to come flying down close to them, land, because you can't be asked to walk and just go and then look at them because they're going to be like, "What the fuck's this guy?" You're going to have to land a few kilometers away or miles away, or hopefully, well, there'll be a variation of how they can hear, what they can see, and you're going to have to tab either on foot or in a vehicle to a certain degree. If you're in a vehicle, then walk and tab the rest of it to actually scope it out.
And then 3 hours
just
of
like
sucking.
In the demo,
You have to tap it and then 3 hours of sucking.
It will feel, it will feel to a lot of people. They'll be like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to tab that far. And that's fine. You can you can be a guy that is solely purposed to close quarters FPS. You'll prefer that, but that's the whole thing of the game. Is it's open to everyone. Madness will love dogfighting, but having to tab 3 kilometers to get to a certain point to then recce it or firefight, you're gonna be like, I don't want to do that, so someone else will do it, and then you can come in and do the.
That's why you need solitaire on your mobiGlas so you can busy yourself while you're waiting.
Yeah. Well, this is it's definitely going to slow down. The combat's going to. I mean, the stamina system's clear, showing they want the game to slow down. They don't want, like you said, Darsh. They don't want the jumping around, the bunny hopping, the slamming. They don't want that stuff, which is fine. Snipers and cap, and be wary. You're going to have a lot more pad camping now. Or sorry, not pad camping. So camping generally, I mean, sorry, not pad camping.
Yes,
There's
you
enough
will.
of that. Yeah. You're going to get a lot more camping because people will be now slower. There's going to be more snipers to deal with.
But But you're coming from a COD background. You're coming from an area which is more competitive gameplay.
Yeah, Arma 3 is all about camping and slow movement and working together.
It is sensible.
So,
It's about, and to be honest, they've never wanted it to be like COD, which a lot of people like COD. I used to like COD, and I like Battlefield, but I don't want it to be exactly like Battlefield.
I like Haddock as well.
Too arcadey. Who?
Well,
Is it bad that I never played a single COD or Battlefield game?
I never did.
I've not played COD, but I have played Battlefield.
Right, and as much as I say that I'm going to love how the combat is going to be more slowed down and more tactical, I fucking love the fuck out of Doom.
Team Fortress, but then it's a different game, though, isn't it? You
own
like
thing,
that,
isn't
then
it?
that's what Doom's for, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. You're not gonna enjoy certain aspects. I don't enjoy dogfighting because I'm fucking terrible at it, so I avoid it. But Madness absolutely loves it. So
dogfighting.
Yeah, you love dogfighting. I hate dogfighting.
Didn't we? We had a. Well, I loved the little fight. Just going to bring this up because didn't we have a little fight? I had a little wager that went on. I said that I would stream naked if you could kill me.
I tried my hardest.
And he came in like not even. I always wanted to do a 1v1 with Mac. Okay, he rocks in with two of his friends. Two of his friends to try and kill me. Little did he realise I had 4 of my friends just chilling in the server with me. He then decided to drop in and just kill him, which was it was hilarious.
I'm on my way, and so are we.
It was hilarious. I watched him going, and then he jumped in, and I went, "Oh, he's got friends." And then,
but
literally,
Madness, you were fucking ballerining around me. I was there trying to target you, and you were just spinning around like.
That's what he does, man. That's
if you had some classical music going on, I could just see like
the nutcracker.
But that is dogfighting, man. That is dogfighting, Ryan.
I get so many missiles.
I can't do it.
I get so many missiles fired at me, dude. I have to. Like, if people watch me on stream, they see me do it. You just have to spin around and maneuver and dodge all these missiles because that's what you're having to deal with all the time. But
I will find something in Star Citizen that I am good at. I swear.
3 hours of sucking.
3 hours. I'm good at that. Yeah.
3 days. 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. Hang on, hours.
Are we talking about Doom?
That's a normal afternoon.
Darj, what was you said Doom? Was this the original Doom? Or are we talking?
No, I'm talking about the latest one because even though as some people in chat pointed out, it was slower than.
Is it? Are you getting all this unable to connect to chat thing?
No,
or is it just me?
Oh, you have been typing too much. I had it yesterday. I couldn't type.
I left 5. Okay,
yeah.
Carry on, Daj. Sorry, mate.
Yes. Even though a lot of it was masked behind the glory kills and the exploration, but it was a lot of sprinting and jumping and just. If I wanted to survive because I wasn't that really good at just dodging slightly, I needed to run around and jump all over the place, and I love that. But that's something that we will never see in Star Citizen, at least in the 3.0 onwards, unless, which is something I brought up in a previous podcast, performance enhancing drugs that completely boost your stamina regeneration for a short period of time, so you can just have a huge advantage over everybody else. But then when you crash, you just fall flat on your face and you're done for a few hours.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Madness mentioned that today on his stream as well. So, like in the Expanse, when they pull high Gs, they have that liquid in the chair that injects in them so that they can take it. So it would be interesting if we had some sort of concept like that, so that you could sprint for longer. Maybe the heavy armor. That's one thing the heavy armor could have in it. A thing that injects you so that you can sprint for longer or something.
This is what I've been saying. They need to ditch this whole G-safe shit and blacking out nonsense. You just need to have it so that literally it's like a really cool effect where the seat just like plugs you in. You get injected with this shit and it's like whoa, and then everything gets wired and you're like fucking flying. It'd be so cool.
You know what it is though, Madness. You know what it is though, and that's something.
That's heroin.
It's like, and it risks your life. You have to get implants into your. You have to choose this is a profession, and you got to get cool implants into yourself.
We should put this to Chris. We should say to Chris. Madness has an idea. Can you just hear him out, please?
But he actually does have a good idea. Like if you're a professional racing racer or a dogfighter, that could be a potential upgrade for
sports
you.
enhancing
It
drugs.
will completely ruin your metabolism and make you die like 3 times faster than a normal person.
You have like a
But
lazy
you
eye.
but you would get an advantage. But that'd be cool.
I'm the best dog fighter in the world, you bitches.
I can't see, but I can move fast.
I like. I mean, Jay Lee spoke about how they're not there yet in terms of obviously doing, limbs and augmented parts and like human enhancements and stuff. But it makes sense. Like if you remember in the movie Dread, where the guy's got his eyes taken out, and he's like the security guy, and he's obviously had the implants into his eyes to be able to kind of track security and stuff. I like the idea of being able to customize your character or your person for a specific. You're making him very specifically skilled for a specific.
Ghost in the Shell had that as well. Was it Bucto?
Yes.
When he got into the what was an explosion, and then he had to have his eyes replaced with cameras.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. I love all that the idea of like enhancing ourselves.
Well, they have talked in this recent ATV about poisons and gases and things like that. Yeah. So and buffs as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. And it comes down to the whole eating, sleeping, drinking, which everyone is sort of either 50-50, I want it or I don't. I think it will be a case of if you have a coffee, you will be able to move a little quicker, maybe. Just something like a buff, a slight buff. And I think there will be black market drugs that you can manufacture and sell at these drugs labs, which will affect that sort of thing. Whether or not they do that, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do include that for the sake of it just being damn fucking cool.
And another profession
that's
that you
my
can
next.
have.
That's my Spectrum post number 3. I've had 2 so far that have been terrible. This will be number 3 idea.
You mean Reddit post?
No, Spectrum.
Oh, okay.
So the only thing, so from this ATV with the whole having all your stamina and everything else, so they were saying that your suit visuals will be on your facial HUD, and then the atmospheric effects will be on your Mobi glass. And there'll be ways of telling, so when you come up to atmospheric doors or things like that, you can tell what's on the other side, whether it's poisonous gas and all that sort of thing.
The door will tell you, just like in Hellion.
But my little worry is there, I mean, this again, the balance thing. Like, are we going to have to just stand there and work everything out constantly? So every time I go somewhere, it's like, well, is that safe for me to work? How much poison is in the air? Will I be able to breathe enough through that? Like, is it going to be like a constant spreadsheet game of working out how safe I can be
if you want
in different locations all the time?
You didn't have to be.
Like, what suit am I going to take? Am I going to take heavy armor? Am I going to explore? Then can I open this door? And I don't know. There's a lot of factors that they said that's going to be implemented. I think it's
which I think are interesting, though. I don't know how you guys.
I'm happy for that. Yeah, this is the balance, isn't it? Is you can't please everyone. Like some people will like certain aspects, some won't. I like the idea of having to decide what suit to take for the job. Hang on, sorry, I can hear myself. But they obviously are not all the time. Sometimes I want to play a game where I can just jump in and have action and whatever. Sometimes I want to spend a bit of time and plan things out. But I think Star Citizen will have the option to do everything. So the case is, if you don't want to go into combat, you can just go and farm in an Endeavour if you know someone who owns one. If you want to do a combat, you can go and do combat, or you can go into Arena Commander, you can go into the Sim Pod. But when it comes... Oh, fuck, I've forgotten what I was trying to say now.
You talk too much bullshit, man. That's what it is.
But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I do like having an element of being able to know. I suppose it wouldn't be constant. You wouldn't constantly... Well, would you have to constantly check the atmosphere all the time? Like, we've seen a lot of stuff that's going to be dependent on the Mobi glass. I don't want to feel like every 10 minutes I'm moving or going to do an action. I have to bring up the Mobi glass.
It will probably become second nature when you bring up your Mobi glass to just see. I think it will say, it won't be a case of, can I breathe nitrogen? Can I breathe...
What oxygen percentage do I need before this is safe? Hang on a minute. Get my calculator out. That's what I don't want that where I have to work out.
It'll be a case of, you'll just naturally think, right, we get to a planet. You'll probably be scanning the planet before, or you already know. The way I see it working is if you're coming down in, say, a constellation, you're coming down, someone's there, like, my first thought will be, right, whoever my crew is, can you just check the information on this planet and tell me what we know about this planet so far. Like, what is the atmosphere? Can we breathe on it? Before you've even landed, as you're going down, you'll be asking this. If you land as a solo player, you'll pop up your mobiGlas and think, it'll say unsafe. So you'll be like, right, okay, no, fuck it, I'll have to put a helmet on. And you'll put a helmet on, you'll jump out, you'll know you have so much oxygen. I think it'll become just a natural occurrence of knowing whether or not you need to equip certain things. But then, yes, particular missions, and this will probably go into more raiding with an org, you will get given a specific mission to do, and you'll think, right, well, I'll need this, I'll need that, I'll need that. And if you want to take part in that, you'll have to then go and buy that, equip it, whatever.
Yeah.
And a nice thing would be, like, if you get to, like, on mobiGlas, you get a list of locations where you need to go, and you click on that location, it gives you a short synopsis of the human hazards or requirements that you would need. You know, just in, like, the Wikipedia, like they said, they're getting the, it's not the Wikipedia, it's like the whatever the internal, you know, encyclopedia that will be also have access to. Like, every planet will be listed, every city will be listed. Why not have, you know, okay, so you want to go to this planet, okay, you can go without a helmet, but you're gonna start feeling a bit queasy, but maybe after 15-20 minutes. Or you can wear the helmet. And this planet here, fine, no need for anything.
You will pretty much learn it as you go anyway. You'll start knowing certain planets off by heart, or someone will, on your board will know, and they'll say, wear a fucking helmet, mate. Just...
well, good example, and maybe it's a good time to play from a Hellion Miss. I think this is really close to what we're discussing now. When do you know that you need to put your helmet on? When do you notice it? In this little bit that I put in, you can really see when the guy in Hellion notices that the oxygen is low in the ship that he's in, and he needs to start putting his helmet on and checking the oxygen system. Hellion obviously goes one step further as it being the survival game, and I'm really wanting to look into a deep end of it. You know, I think we need a simplified version of it because it's not a survival game at the end of the day. But I think it's a really good example of when to react to certain things, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, they have said that that's a big part of what the ATV was about, in how they are implementing the audio with the visual and everything else. So it's not going to be a case of having to always look at your mobiGlas for the stats. You'll know if something's affecting you because the way you breathe, maybe you'll like start being more sluggish, or you'll hear yourself breathing a bit heavier and think, oh, something's wrong. Which, yes, that has happened to me in Hellion. I've gone out into space thinking I had my helmet down. No, because you can put your helmet down but not turn it on. And you just start going, you start thinking, well, I sound like I'm dying here, and then you realise that you haven't turned your oxygen.
A good way is showing external pressure, you know what I mean? How high is the pressure? From that, you can know a lot if you need to put a helmet on or not. You know what I mean? If the external pressure is very high, you know you need that helmet on. Otherwise, you will pop like a tomato, you know what I mean? And you're gone.
How does a potato pop? When does a potato pop?
So they're doing this.
Tomato.
They're going to do this, though, aren't they, Sol? They're going to do They've already showed it at Gamescom this year. They showed us, you know, if the helmet's not on, you know, the guy dies pretty quickly.
Well, I think we have got a clip of that as well. So what they said with the oxygen, if you don't wear a helmet, so basically your helmet shows your O2, which is connected to the tank. So your helmet will use the oxygen that's within your tank. Now, if you don't wear a helmet, then you will use the oxygen that's in the air. So obviously, if you go to a room that hasn't got it, then you're going to basically fall over and die. Which is So and then there's something with low oxygen. You may still be able to breathe and use the low oxygen, but you're obviously going to maybe if you go into a room that's say got a limited amount, you might use it up if you don't wear your helmet. And then so you can last a little bit longer, but maybe not a full amount or something. I love this clip because he just face plants into a box.
Yeah,
it's actually quite cool.
I loved they fixed it, because on one of the previous demos they just show you sprinting, and then stop and fall.
Yeah,
right. Because they played the canned animation as if you were standing still, but here basically just ragdolls on his face, and I like that. I like that a lot.
No, he's dead.
He's gone.
Forget him. Write him off. He's no longer. I'll take his cut.
I just keep watching it, and it's so good.
Yeah, I do. I just love that last
really
full
nice.
animation straight into a box. It's kind of like every time you land on it, you try to gently land on a landing pad, and because of the way they've got the drop and the gravity boots, the gravity kicks in, and you just face plant every time. Just reminds me of that all the time.
I love how he running, and he's not just face planting, but he's cracking his head open on the box as well.
Yeah, you kind of know that when you go around to revive him, you're going to be like, oh, this is going to be nasty.
So
he's like broken nose, cut head.
with regards to the UI interface, because Sherman and a few others chatting about in terms of like, I think overkill on information and stuff, and I agree with like the idea of having not too much information, but I would like it to be customizable so that I can select what is on the UI information. So
do you mean your home screen?
Do you mean on do you mean on the Moby Glass or the helmet?
I mean both. I'd like to be able to customize the Moby Glass in order to information that I find most relevant on.
Yes, you will be able to do it with the home screen. You'll be able to have particular, but your helmet will be based on what helmet you buy. Yeah. Certain helmets will be specific to certain.
You can't do your helmet now.
You can do the helmet. Okay, but you can do the UI. Okay, well that's.
The Moby Glass. Well, your home screen will have certain displays of. I think, like, if you want to have something on the home screen, like your cargo manifest, it won't be a full manifest of everything you're hauling, but it'll have like a specific little sections, and then you can click it to get the wider picture. If you're
it's like a widget on your phone.
Yes, exactly. You can choose where it goes, but your visor on your helmet will be determined by the helmet that you buy.
Do you know what? That's a shame. Do you know why that's a shame? Because in a way, you know that like I'm a man of, like, I love things that look good.
You're a man?
Well, I mean, you know.
Well, you don't have the facial hair to show it.
I may be slightly tipsy, but I won't be proving that I'm a man on stream, that's for sure.
And banned.
Please don't.
Exactly.
And we'll cover him up with a censored.
Exactly.
We've censored him, it's fine.
No, it's... but for me, it's the... I'm curious about the helmets, like in terms of I'm thinking Destiny, for example. Like, there's some really cool helmet designs, but they were always lacking in the power, or they didn't have a function. And I would hate it to be, here's a really cool helmet, but I can't see any information that I really like. I would like to be add information. Does that make sense? Like, you're always going to have oxygen and other things.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something else I want to add to it, like to customize it.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I can't see that with your helmet you'll be able to alter it. I think it will be specific to the helmet.
It's because that's part of the it's part of your helmet's design. So that is part. So it's all part of the suit that makes it up. So when it's all connected,
a helmet that suits you. That kind of has your, like, you may have a dogfighting specific helmet which will tell you specific things about.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure we will get different information on the HUD other than how it looks, like colours or something like that. But I think they don't. I think that's what Sherman's kind of showing. I haven't managed to read it all, but like in WoW, or you see some games, they've just got their screen is just full. I mean, it's their choice, but their screen is full of UI, different elements that they want to put on, and I think it's because you'll be able to visually see what other people are seeing. Like, it's not just affecting you. So if you seeing someone, if I'm standing there and I can see Mandis' helmet, I'll be able to see all of his different icons all over his face, where he's decided to customize his helmet. So I think they don't want that, basically.
You need to find a middle way in those sort of things. Do you mean this in a way of being?
You cut off there, right? The fucking critical point.
Yeah.
Do you think this is?
Do you guys think this, do you mean
your mic is just trolling you right now.
Mine, and I'm in fucking Scotland at the moment.
Is it fucking combat orientated? Do you mean it's combat orientated? Fuck me sideways.
Yeah, certain helmets will be combat orientated. Certain ones will be exploration. Some maybe even trading. I don't know.
With an exploration helmet, I don't really expect for you to have like a full ammo count everywhere.
No. Yeah, the oxygen level, more specific conditions, and
exactly. Yes.
Be relevant to the job at hand. That's what you thought it saw.
Nice.
Fuck this! I don't know what's going on with this thing, man.
You didn't sign up to
Maybe
this.
it's your Discord
Have you got a noise gate on
whatever
it?
it's set
Yeah.
to.
Listen, miss, can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you run into
No.
the basement and check if this Sheba is still running for the electricity and for the internet over there?
It's got nothing to do with me, mate. Everybody else is fine. It's you.
It's always when we're on the Welsh.
It's got
always when we're
nothing
on
to
the
do
Welsh.
with mine. It's you. It's your whole thing.
Discord
I have
gate.
never
Discord gate.
You've
Yeah.
got a noise
What is
gate
it
on your
supposed
thing.
to
That's
hear?
probably what it is. It's cutting it out.
No, I have no noise gate. I don't even have voice me.
No, I mean in Discord you have in in voice settings you have input sensitivity. Maybe that's set to too far to the right, and it just keeps.
It's set to automatic.
Yeah, take it
Yeah,
off
that's what we
automatic.
Don't
Don't
just-
ever
just-
use
just
automatic.
go manual and
Can you hear me now?
all the way to the left.
here we go.
Yeah, it takes
When I
off
fart, you can
automatic.
hear me. Is that what it is?
Yes,
That'll
yes.
be the
We
problem.
want to hear them farts.
Yeah.
Wow. Pro streamer, guys. Pro streamer.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I don't even know what we're up to now, really.
Oh, well, we're still talking about. I mean, let's be honest. Burn Down
What
was
has
pretty
Discord
much.
to do with fucking streaming, by the way?
It was just stamina, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It was literally
Yeah,
stamina, and like, how do we guys feel about stamina? Personally, I was saying at the beginning, I'm not 100%. I'm sitting very heavily on the fence with stamina. I don't necessarily like the idea, but you've all established that I'm a bit of a COD player. I like my fast repeating kind of FPS type of gameplay. That's what I've kind of got used to. So for me, the idea of slow kind of gameplay, it's a bit unusual, but I am learning. PUBG is teaching me.
PUBG is shit.
So, well,
It's,
so
not,
what
it's the number one game. Anyone says PUBG is shit?
yeah, it's
No,
like the
Because
top.
it's fucking hyped, you know what I mean? Everyone's
it's
fucking
not-
playing.
PUBG is not shit.
It's still
I
the
think
highest
it's
played
shit.
game.
It's my personal opinion.
Anyway,
it's
we're not
shit.
here to talk about PUBG, so let's move
No, no.
on.
But
So,
it's-
one of the
what that
things
is-
that they mentioned was that obviously, by you, everything you do is going to use stamina to a certain degree. So you've got like everything you carry. They mentioned the stance you're in will affect. So I didn't even know you can have different stances, but you'll be able to have different stances, and that will affect how much stamina you use.
You know you
There
can
was
crouch
some,
and go prone, right? You know that, don't you?
yeah,
That's common knowledge, surely.
yeah, I know that. Is that what they
That's
just mean by
different stance.
stance? They don't mean. Well, I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know if they
Well,
meant like.
lying on the ground is gonna use a lot less energy than crouching. You know,
Yeah,
being
you
in
can
a
crawl everywhere, planet side,
Yeah.
and you'll have so much.
You'd
stamina
last
for,
forever.
yeah. I'm gonna get there.
So yeah, they basically said it was going to affect your gun and your aiming, which it happens, I think, in other games as well, pretty much. So
It
you
is like
can-
Armor seems to have it run down too fast, where you jog for about 10 minutes. Even though you're a hardcore military expert, you jog for not even 10 minutes, for 3 minutes, and you're like, and you need to rest.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a good expansion on that. I don't think it should be that quick.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
No,
How many of us are really Marines?
I'm a Marine. Sometimes
'Cause
when I play
are we
Armor,
full- is somebody in chat who's a trained Marine will be able to tell me how quickly you could run with gear and a machine gun for how long?
I can run for days.
I'm a
Run
trainer.
for days.
But don't forget, the avatars that we use are completely fit. They are literally like trimmed like crazy, so they should be represented in their health. I know I'm not. I've got a beer belly the size of fucking Oklahoma, but I know that the avatars that we control are actually quite ripped people, so they should have a level representative of that.
Of their
look.
thingy.
But
Yeah.
what
do we
does that,
think?
what that level does that equate to? I don't know. I'm being
I
genuinely
don't
serious.
know.
Like,
No, I
I'm
don't
curious. Like, I mean, I could run literally up the hill, and I'm out of breath in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, I was talking about armor as in the sense
And
that
I'm
you are actually
out of-
a military special ops guy in armor, and you run for so long and you're knackered.
Yeah,
So
stick me in
he's-
full gear.
Everyone has its limit at some point, obviously.
So what do you think
Oh,
with this shooting all over the place? Do you think it'll be the same for melee? So like, there's one about the one-shot knife kills, like where you run around and all of a sudden your knife's like, I can't hit.
I think they'll
properly
probably
'cause I'm
hear you
out of
coming.
breath. Yeah, but like, that's going to affect your assassination trials, isn't it? It's like
That's
you
why you
start
need
running
to
away.
take the silencer off your gun and put it in your mouth.
hold your breath as you're chasing someone with a knife, but then if you get out of stamina, you're just about to stab them, and then your stamina's dropped, and you're like, oh, you're stabbing all around.
So you fall
their head.
forward and headbutt them in the butt.
You're not actually killing them.
I
hope so.
But have you thought about, like, in game? They talked about how, like, it was the same thing with blackouts and stuff. Guys would be potentially heavy breathing under stressful situations. Like, I was just thinking, that's the last thing I want to hear when I'm flying in game is someone's heavy breathing.
Well, yeah.
Like,
that's what I said earlier. It's like that sound. It's okay for a bit, but if you aren't constantly, like, especially like the way you're saying you're flying sometimes and it's pulling the G's, are you constantly giving as you grip to do your G maneuver, and then it's all the time. That's going to get really annoying quick.
Maybe it needs to be more visual. Maybe it needs to be more visual than audio.
Like I said, that piece of little mist on your glass on the visor.
There is going to be After Effects. We saw in the video. Have you got the video for it where it has the little section in the top left-hand corner of all the different post effects, or the like brightness, contrast, that sort of thing. Do you have that video, Olmiz?
I think he just left.
Oh yeah, he's gone. Oh. Fucking timing. That is.
He's run away. But you know what? But it's it's like a lot of things, isn't it? Things that seem really good, but once you repeat them over and over again, become annoying.
The audio is the biggest problem I have with what we saw, but it is first iteration, and it is basically this guy was like, "Can you just create some breathing effects?" And he was like. Okay, so he was like, I think, like, me and Miserable were discussing this on my stream earlier, and I said, let's just send him outside, go for a run, get your heart rate to a certain heart rate representative of the actual game, and record it, which he said, just get a treadmill. And I thought, that's a much better idea. Run on a treadmill in your sound booth. When you get to a particular heart rate on your watch, start recording your breathing. And I think they will eventually go more in depth with that, but for the sake of the first implementation of stamina for 3.0, it's just a guy going, because I know when I'm out of breath, I'm fucking coughing, sputtering, swearing at my girlfriend. Get me what? You need help.
Wow.
What, spitting on your girlfriend? What?
Yeah.
Well,
not in a sexual time. No, she didn't enjoy that.
I got spit on the girl.
So I think the audio wasn't quite what I expected, but he did say it's not just going to be breathing; it's going to be grunts, which is probably worse.
Wow, what did I
think having some breathing, Miserable. Have you got the footage of the sort of post effects? Like the brightness, the contrast, the different effects that they have.
I think so.
Can I just like Sol, you were saying about like a visual cue. So now there are visual cues in terms of blacking out. It does the screen starts to dim, and there's kind of a weird. But the problem with that is, I don't know if anyone's noticed this, and this is genuinely one of my biggest things with it is if you're in a Saber or if you're in a Hornet,
it happens really fast.
If you do a side strafe, you black out in a second.
But I mean it more in the
pitch. It's long.
Yeah. I mean it more in the melee terms, man.
Melee.
So if you're running, instead of someone fucking no, get his
fucking
gun sway.
Okay.
Should we all do our best grunting?
Our breasts.
We'll do our breasts.
But
I'll do my breast grunt.
Your breast grunt. But you know what I mean, right? I mean more in visual cues where you see gun sways, where the body moves, for example, instead of
is this the bit you want
noises? You know what I mean? Because then you don't annoy other players with it. You know, if someone ran to my ship and he gets into the back. And he stands behind me like like some kind of, I don't know, like, how do you call these guys?
Friday the 13th guy.
Yeah. I'd rather not. But if he has the issue that he's constantly moving, you know what I mean? And maybe make the effect only, but then you take the thingy aspect away again, the tactical, because you could use it in a tactical way again as well. I don't want that fucking noise making. You know what I mean? It's... No,
I think they need to create a lot of sounds in order that we don't get that repetitive annoyance of hearing a man grunting the same thing over and over again. I mean, you know, non-jokes aside, it will get fucking awful.
Did you mention what you was on about on your stream today with the heavy breathing
Treadmill.
recording or not?
Yes, yeah, I did mention about the treadmill, about running out. Yeah. Hang on, let me just send you a picture. Hang on.
What to cause me some heavy breathing? Let me just send you a picture.
Let me send you a picture. Yeah.
You can see you got brightness, contrast, filter grain, ghosting, luminance, radial blur, saturation, G-force redout, blackout, and then blackout recovery. These are all the different post effects that they're using to create the visual effects. So if you don't have a helmet, you're not going to see that it's flashing saying your heart rate's going up, you know, that sort of thing. You're going to have the actual visual effects that will tell you you're running out of breath, which was going back to a point we were talking about a while ago. I don't know if it's fucking.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just realized what had happened, and yes, on the stream. Good show.
It's because Mac decided to do a screenshot of his whole screen.
I think you see everyone there.
So we had I had to drag it over, and I forgot I still had that screen up.
The bane of two monitors.
So yeah, in the top left, it was telling you like the contrast and the grain and all that. But they did say that there was one of the systems they were working on, which I think was to do with. Let me just change that a second. Was to do with the actor status system. Was how because you can have multiple effects. So one might be from being shot and bleeding. Then you got one from being out of breath. They said that they were going a way that one will take precedence, and then the other ones will have less of an effect on your character. Otherwise, if you had full-on blood splatter, full-on almost blacking out, you wouldn't be able to do anything. So, yeah, there's supposed to be a system. So
you'd have to find this little piece of screen that you look at and just like
I'm still alive.
Just imagine what state your character's in when you can only see like that much on your visor because you've had so many. But what I don't get is why you get shot in the foot that your face bloodies up though.
That is true. Although if you're looking at your foot at the time,
it's not blood, it's tomato ketchup. I've been eating something at the same time.
I've had pizza.
Shall we do? Do you guys want to start doing questions?
Sure.
Nah, I think we've got at least another hour's worth of bullshit we can go through.
I won't be sober enough for that.
No, I'm just kidding. Right, let's go. So yeah, I think that's a good time to. I think we've covered most of the heavy breathing.
Heavy breathing.
I think a lot of it will depend. Just to sum it up, I think a lot of it will depend on balance on a lot of these things. How much we get through, how well they implement it, and then obviously it's going to be. I think they said it on the Captain Sable as well. Your first iteration is not going to be how it's going to be end game.
Exactly.
There's going to be lots of
always
things.
Like with every feature. Yeah. First iteration is just introductory, and then they collect feedback, go from QA from the players, and then they adjust it until everybody's happy. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone is happy. Literally all 1,256,000 backers all go, yeah, we like this.
Yep.
There was actually one other thing I wanted to touch on that he did say, which I thought was interesting, is they wanted to have reasons to make you not wear your helmet or having your helmet cost. So I thought that was quite interesting to force you to not always just, well, it's just easier if I run around in a suit all the time, because what's the point? And then they also mentioned about illnesses and how breathing different toxic gases and things like that can cause an illness. And I thought it was interesting how they didn't want the illness to necessarily be, well, you just stab yourself with a Medipen. Some of them might be you actually have to go somewhere and get a cure, or you have to go and see a medic or a doctor, which I thought not many people talked about that, but I thought that was quite an interesting concept.
That's true. I think the Medipen is very basic. Just it's a means to an end shit for the moment right now. Having a medic with things, will be more in depth. But when it comes to diseases, this could play into the whole not genocide, but you know what I mean. The planet is having a problem, and you've got to go down and take your big ships to take off people from the planet. And there's a lot of and also they said races. Different races needing different atmospheres on board your ship. So whether that is slavery, VIP transport, or crew, like having, I hope to God we can have Banu crew, a bit like what we see in Mass Effect. You have these different species that you
Yeah, it
employ.
would be cool.
That for some reason all breathe the same mixture of nitrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, that's true.
CO2.
Yeah, so Star Citizen won't have
Well,
that.
apart from those tiny guys with the 3 fingers and that keep. What are those guys again called?
The asthma guys.
Yeah, the asthma guys from Mass Effect.
I have no idea.
But yeah, you'll need to make sure that if you have, let's say you're transporting on a 600i, here's a purpose for it. The Senator Serge Kossi, who is Banu? Or is he Jean? Is he Jean or Banu? Someone.
Volus.
Not Volus.
That race isn't even in the game yet.
Sorry, the race from Mass Effect.
I was about to say, isn't there's on the helmet? Isn't the one where it's got the full kind of atmosphere inside the suit, right?
The big bulky guy with is just basically a head.
Oh no, not Volus. The other one, the girl, the female character.
Asari.
Yes.
No, sorry, Quarians.
Quarians.
The Quarians. Yeah. Those are the only 2 races that don't breathe the same air everybody else does.
And I think of, do you remember the TV show Babylon 5?
Yeah.
Where they had the species, the same thing, where they had to have a specific atmosphere for the station for them. They had their organic ships.
Kosh was.
I can't remember. I'm really rubbish for the names, but you know what I'm on about. They had to
We'll see vegan ships soon.
They had to be decontaminated, and they had to wear breathing apparatus. I love the idea. I absolutely love that idea. I think that is fantastic. Absolutely, if they can implement that and make that work, and then make it so that we have alien species to interact with and to communicate with and to get missions from, and you have to do that. That's fantastic. I'm 100% behind that.
He was a Vorlon in Babylon 5.
Yeah, the man with all the information.
Yes, thank you. That was the one.
No, I got Wikipedia on my second screen. That's it.
I was going to say, we like him. You can keep him.
Yes.
And basically, Senator Suge Kossi is a different species to human. So he will potentially need a different atmosphere to breathe. So if you are transporting him on your 600i, your crew may have to walk around with helmets to
accommodate him.
Perfect.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be good. So you would actually, because as your VIP, you would actually accommodate them rather than make them wear the suit. Yeah, that would be really good.
The females will have to wear the helmet with the whatever. Nothing.
Okay, guys. Well,
depends on what he's into.
I said about 20 minutes ago, we covered it all. I just saw that other bit on there, so I wanted to go on that. But yeah, we're going to move on to some questions. If you've got any questions for the podcast team, just !question in chat, or !Q, or !question. Should all give you the form to fill in, and we'll start going through some of those.
Question.
What? So the first one.
We put in brackets. We can put in brackets in the question as well. We can always try and pick up on those as well.
Well, we can try, but filling out the form.
We can try, but there's no guarantee. It's easier on the question forum, but we'll try and pick up on questions if people want to just chuck them in as well.
So
we'll try.
The first question is from Freelancer Durr.
Oh yes.
Because it is. To everybody, does anyone here wish they knew what the hell is going on with the Freelancer Durr and Max? Every poster topic about them always gets ignored by the devs because they are supposed to be finished this coming weekend.
Who is this with this question? Because we had this question fucking last week as well.
This is Freelancer Durr.
Is this last week's questions that you didn't get rid of?
It could be.
I wasn't here last week. I can't control it. If you guys don't finish the forms.
The old questions?
No,
don't they have a date on the Google Forms?
I like this question.
No. Hang on. Submitted the 9th for the... What? Yeah, that was last week's.
9th of the 4th.
You guys...
I was like, I've heard this question before.
Well, why don't you delete the questions?
It's the first time that I did the questions. I'm sorry.
That was last week's.
So,
okay, this is a new one.
I would just answer it as if it was a new question.
Well, he wasn't here.
I was like,
if you already answered it, you should have had the answer just like that. Boom, let's go through it again.
Listen, in all honesty, I was like, there's this dude again. Is he trying to fucking throw me with this?
Someone's got it in for you. Okay, so the first question of this week is by Edison Trent, and he asks, how do you feel CIG handled the Origin 600i Q&A? We
Perfect.
kind
Accidentally.
badly. Well, it wasn't badly. It was kind of not
It
the
was
people
just
that
bad
answered.
information.
Well,
It just
badly, I
accidentally-
suppose.
It
The
just,
people
it just showed how much people rely on Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And how good it is to have Ben back as well. Let's,
Yes,
say
welcome
that as
back,
well.
Ben.
Yes, welcome back.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was good to see him with that interview with Batgirl as well. He looked
Yes.
good. He looked good.
Yeah, without glasses too.
He's taller.
Damn.
He's taller now apparently because he
taller.
used to hunch. Because
All
his
right,
eye, if he hunched like that, I would just poke myself in the eye. His whatever the problem was would actually realign itself. So he would be stood like this. Now he's got it fixed. He's actually stood upright. So he
Oh,
looks
that's
taller.
nice.
And he's
That's
a big
nice.
guy. He's a tall guy, especially.
Oh yes, I met him. It was like a mountain.
It's the mountain from
The
the
mountain. Yes,
He is the
yes.
mountain.
He has
Okay.
his cards.
So yeah, that's it. I think it was handled not too well, but Ben come and saved the day. I think with them answers there. So hopefully they've been put onto any question and answer form.
You still
really.
bought one, Edison, so it doesn't make a difference,
Yeah.
does it?
So the next question is from Edison Trent, and he asks, it's not even a question. Hey, I am working on get the ability to make Star Citizen ship-shape PC case. Okay.
Nice one.
Good for you.
Thanks for that one, Edison.
Nice one.
Good job.
Show us when it's finished.
Oh, and he asked it again,
luck.
so we'll skip that one as well.
Good luck. Good
Good
luck with
job,
that.
Edison.
Send us the pictures when you're finished.
Yeah,
Definitely
please do.
send us the pictures
And send me one.
as well.
I will
Send
put
me
it up
one.
on
It's
the
good to
screen.
know that Madness isn't the only drunk one right now.
No.
If you could send me one of them cases as well when you're done, that would be awesome. So the next
I've done well.
question is from Chippy, and he asks, would people really bother having a VIP transport? It basically just
Yes.
puts a target on your
Yes.
back saying, I have money, come rob me.
Or you put it full of pirates in the backside and you give them a
this is
fucking
it.
tropical surprise. Mate, this is good stuff, man.
Tropical
was that?
surprise.
A 600
What, like
eye.
a pineapple up their ass or something?
But you know what I mean. You can use it in so many. But
A 600 eye or an 890 jump is never gonna go anywhere without a proper escort. Anyway.
Yes.
Somebody
And
clip
the
him.
price, the paycheck will be so much worth doing
That's
it.
the point. That is
And
the
then
whole
you'll
point.
be able to hire escorts, lots of escorts.
Someone
yeah.
please
there'll be a
clip
reason
that.
for it.
That is freaking genius.
You want the tropical surprise?
Tropical surprise.
Listen, I
Got a
used to work
Malibu,
in,
has he? He got a Malibu, and everyone's got like a little
Listen, I
cocktail
used
of
to-
Malibu as they open the back door. Surprise, motherfuckers!
I used to work in debt collection, guys. Yeah, I used to work in debt collection, and I would used to say that to people on the phone. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking about. My boss loved it. My boss loved it. He was like, "You're Dutch. You're the only one that can get away with saying these kind of things without doing it." And people would laugh, and it would really work them up. You know.
He's killing me. He's killing me. He's killing me.
I need to give you.
We need to get that trending. God damn it! Hashtag
Yes.
tropical
Let's get
surprise.
that on
Surprise.
Twitter quick.
Can that be a thing in Star
600
Citizen, please? Tactical thing or something? Just a tropical surprise.
I used to
Oh,
say that
okay.
to people.
I think he has to walk away for a bit.
It's worse than with the tour guide, by the looks of it.
People are going to be knocking on the door telling me to shut up because they want to sleep.
And it'll be 1 in the morning or
Surprise,
something.
motherfucker! Tropical.
Tropical. If they knock on the door, they're going to get a tropical surprise. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's
Running
him
down the corridor.
naked except for a pineapple.
A pineapple in front of his, with the little green sticking out on top as well.
Fucking
Oh,
hell,
fucking hell.
Okay, the next question is Edison Trent again. Right, this is his fourth attempt at making this question, and it's
You're not saying the same thing here, are you?
kind of right. Okay, so he's put,
Yeah.
hey all, I'm working on being able to build a Star Citizen ship-shaped case. But he does follow it up with, and I wonder which ships you would like to see or have.
Which one?
As a,
What shit?
As a computer case.
I think so. Yeah. Oh my god.
Ooh, wow, that's interesting.
Oh,
What, a caterpillar?
Yeah, I'd say a caterpillar. Definitely
It's
hero.
the easiest one to do, I would say.
The Karak would be a good choice. All the big cat ball ships.
I'd like to see the Xi'an Scout, because good luck with that one, buddy.
It's Shan.
The Xi'an.
No,
Xi'an,
sorry.
Can we get a little tropical
Good
surprise in there as well? With a couple of coconuts and a pineapple on his head, just as a little subtle, like, where's Wally?
Where's the bongos?
Oh,
Yeah.
get that as an emote somehow.
Honestly, we need
Tiny.
Zach. That is an emote. That's a guaranteed emote. Tropical surprise.
Subtle like this.
I suppose something like a Starfarer would work as a case, wouldn't it? Quite bulky.
Actually,
Can someone put
I
my face
think-
in a pineapple?
It can be done.
It can be
Well,
done.
your
I
hair's
think
already
the
there,
Arc-
so
the Arco would work best as a computer case.
the Argo, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah. That would be really cool, though.
And with the Argo, you could probably fit about like 7 1080s in there and more fans and whatnot.
I'm not sure what Madness is doing. Let's just cover him up a little bit.
He's looking a bit sexy.
He's looking up
What are
where
you
to
doing,
buy a
man?
pineapple at this time of
sorry,
night.
I was looking for
He's setting up his Pornhub
He's looking for
already,
pineapple porn.
inspiration.
Tropical Sunrise in Pornhub. What does that bring up?
I'm trying to compose myself, Miz. I'm trying to compose myself.
Okay, next question is by Guns and Glue for everybody. What melee weapon would you like to have in Star Citizen?
Stop saying melee.
Pineapple.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Melee.
A pineapple on a
It's
stick.
melee.
Melee.
It's melee.
It's melee.
Melee.
It's
Melee.
French.
I would like to challenge you to a group of melee. Well, let's all melee together.
Oh, milady.
Tropical surprise. You're gonna give the
Tropical
lady...
Sunrise. Oh, sorry, I typed Tropical Sunrise. Why did I type
Tropical
that?
surprise. Yes.
I love it. And by the way, if anyone's coming in here for like really kind of like Star
Serious
Citizen
and
news, this is the wrong place to be. This is we're just having a laugh right now.
Melee.
But if I want
On
to
a
answer
Monday.
the question, I would like.
Good question, actually.
A pineapple.
A pineapple grenade.
Pineapple grenade. I like that. Yeah. It's not really a melee
It's not
weapon. Is
actually a
it? Not
melee
really a melee
weapon.
weapon.
And, well, you could use it.
melee
I mean,
weapon.
You'll just
it's very
smack people
hard.
on the
You
head
could-
with it.
Yes.
Yeah, pineapple
doesn't
on a
blow
stick,
up,
man.
it's just-
Pineapple on a stick, I tell you.
I just next stage's samurai sword would be a good option.
Oh yeah, like from Star Trek, it just assembles.
I'd like
It's like jalapeno on a stick, but then different, you know what I mean?
some vibro blades.
I would like a Vandal
Lightsabers.
staff.
Yeah, Starfighter.
I
would
think
be
that
pretty
Vandal
cool.
are going to have these massive, like, weird spear
Oh,
staffs.
mate,
Yeah.
I'll come down to where you live. I have a very vandalist staff, man. Woo.
Will you dress as Tropical Surprise?
Mate, I'll do pineapple food on.
When I open the door. I'm here! How do you want it? Just fucking get inside, mate. I'm in the middle of town, for God's sake.
Can you hear this Caribbean music playing, yeah?
I'll drag you in. Tom, this is not the time or the place, mate.
I don't want to. I just don't stop. All I'm thinking of right now is the pineapple circles. You know, you get in the tin cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of right now.
Oh, where are we going with this? Man?
And you can take that.
Is that like a
anywhere
tropical
right
flashlight?
now.
Is that what you're talking about?
Did you say fleshlight?
Yeah. You know what?
I'm sorry. I had to take it there, but that's literally when you said tropical surprise.
Oh my god. Oh.
Are we going to make sure that the can is not sharp? We can.
No, you take him out first. That's fine.
You take him out, okay.
Yeah.
This is a serious podcast, boys.
God,
Let's
what are
just
you
keep
doing?
it serious.
Okay, Edison Trent.
Actually, your dick smelling like pineapple all fucking
Hang on,
day.
hang on. Before we
Not
go,
like
I was
pineapple.
going to say my biggest melee weapon that I really wanted to do is the neck
biggest.
kind of choke break that you get in Metal Gear Solid.
Hitman. Hitman.
I really want to be able to do that.
Like
What,
a piano wire.
I want
I
the
love-
wappity thing from Star Wars.
Yeah, and lightsabers and dual. I like the
Subsumption.
dual lightsabers, like Darth Maul's dual lightsaber is pretty.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
any sort of
pineapple, but not that much.
energy melee weapon would be cool.
What about a rubber sandworm?
Just stop
Wait.
there.
No, the dildo from Saints Row 3.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you get like a rubber sandworm, which is like you could sort of use it as two purposes.
Yes.
You could waft that around, and then afterwards you can be like, "This is yours, bitch. Enjoy."
Yeah.
What?
It's
Wow.
broken in now.
We're getting into crazy worlds right now.
Okay,
God.
Edison
This
Trent
is just too
again
silly.
says the game changer is a towing ship to tow in bigger ships.
Tug.
It's a pineapple.
Alright,
That seems just too boring to be a game changer to me.
next question is Bunsen, although I'm not sure it's a question. It says game changer, SPK sized modular stations, 5k to 10k USD pledges.
What? Say that again.
Sized I don't know what it means by SPK sized modular
SPK,
stations.
it's security point Korea. So Korea.
Just-
Oh,
Security
okay.
point
So
Korea.
modular
Yeah.
stations. Yeah. That's
So
not really
he's
a
saying-
ship, though, is it?
So he thinks the game changer will be security points at Korea.
Deployable, maybe player owned.
Deployable.
Deployable security points or something like that. Maybe that's what he means, like in Hellion, that you can make your own space base that you can build with a certain ship. Maybe you know what I mean.
The general space. Yeah, I mean, I think the potential to building space base. That's like we were saying. I think building
Like
would
POS.
be a
Like
game
a POS,
changer. Any sort
yeah.
of any sort of building within the game right now for us would be game changing because currently there is no actual physically us building anything in the game, as far as I'm aware. Does anyone know?
A lot of salt is building.
There's no, apart from salt building, but there's no. We can't really build. I mean, farming, I suppose, would be the only level of actual physical creation that I know of.
Do you think they will implement
That we
base
can do.
building early on? I
No.
mean, I think
No.
it may come earlier than we think, a bit like procedural planets. That came very quick.
Yes.
I hope
and
so.
Base building, all they need to do is get the prefabs down to a point where it's usable by the populace. So it shouldn't take too long, but I don't see that being a game-changing thing that we can get hold of early on.
I think Darj is quite. I think potentially the ability to drop landing points and mini. I think Darjanator's idea could be good. Right?
The UI
3D
for that is going to be really something to do because right now they have specific tools in the editor they employ to plan those, but then how are players going to be able to do that? Will you need to actually be in the ship and then you get like a hollow projection of the surface and you select the point and the orientation and then
next
the ship
question
lands
is
itself
from
and sits
Chippy.
there for a few days and lifts off and there's a base because it's going to be like a dome shaped ship that
We don't
builds
know. I mean,
the base on the inside and then it lifts off again.
Maybe it's a lot easier, like procedure. They've just cracked it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes they can just crack stuff, and it could be, here you go, we've done it. It's done. It looks great and it works, and we've done it, and we didn't expect it to, and we just ran with it, and it's worked really well. We did a sprint on it, and bang, we've just nailed it.
I think there's
First
no reason
time-
they can't give it to us, especially with we've seen how they're building the outposts and how modular they are. It's whether they want us to be able to do it at the start more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, it brings up so much trouble when you think about people. And only 3 moons and Levski.
I don't think we'll see that before
No,
we
there
get
won't be a
full
3.0 one, I
systems.
think. No.
But it's got to be beyond, well, I don't know, maybe not 4.0, because obviously we can still have the Stanton system, can't we? But
maybe-
in the Stanton system, we're not going to see it.
You're assuming that they not like. Okay, here's the thing, right? Maybe for now they've implemented it so we have this many potential vacant areas that you can build on, and so you can build on this many. And there's like, I don't know, say 1,000 or 200 or whatever, or 5. I don't know. Depends what the number is. You can potentially build on, but once you've built on it, other people can potentially steal that base and change it for them.
Yeah.
and that way you don't ever hold it for any.
No, I don't think it's going to be a case of you own that no one can ever take it from you. I think it's eventually it'll be a case of you'll have to defend it, or you will lose it.
But maybe we can't build it anywhere. You can only build it where you determine where you.
I don't think they're going to do that because I mean, like sort of Skyrim, Fallout. There's only particular areas where you can build. I don't think it's going to be like that because then everyone will build in the same place.
Listen, where's Matt Sherman to destroy our ideas? Where is it?
But I mean,
it's probably. I mean, this isn't the game-changing ship, so it's a little bit off topic.
No,
I think
something we've gone a bit off that bit.
I mean, games. Star Wars Galaxies allowed you to build anywhere, so and this is like 10 times huger than that. So I can't see why they wouldn't allow.
They said you could find a remote area away from a civilization and build. They didn't say it's going to be specific areas.
I think you'll be able to build anywhere.
You will be able to build everywhere, but eventually, this is. I can't see this coming as a game changer. It is a game changer, but it's not going to be a game changer that we're going to see anytime.
It's not a ship game changer.
Cool.
I doubt it.
Did we lose Darj there?
Have we?
Who? What?
Did we lose Darj?
No, he's still there. Look.
It looks like he's still here.
Darj, say hello. Say topical surprise. Okay, we've lost him.
We've lost him.
I'm back.
I've dragged him
back.
I saw. Look, Discord, green down arrow, update
I've got
available.
that. I didn't touch it. I've had that for ages. Update ready. Don't click it. I've had that all night. I'm like, you keep wanting to. You keep getting drawn to it as well. It's like, click it.
You clicked it in the middle of a podcast.
No, I thought I wasn't talking. I thought it'd be away for 20 seconds. Then I realized, oh yeah, the room is locked.
Right.
Nice.
Anyway, that's a good point to move on, I think. So the
next question.
The next question is Headclot, and he asks, is it just me, or has Reddit started to become a massive ball of hate and anger towards CIG, or is it just me reading too much into a vocal minority? I don't...
It's the vocal minority has always been the vocal minority.
Yeah, and they are on Reddit.
But hasn't it always been like that?
Yes.
Can I disagree?
I'll put a link in chat for you, man.
Of course you do.
Thank you. Because I'm going to disagree because I recently, and I don't think the hate is as bad as Spectrum anymore. I think Spectrum's overtaken it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that there is more salt in Spectrum than there is on Reddit now. I think Reddit. When I look through Reddit, I think you've got more people actually asking genuinely serious topics of interest. People saying, look, I'm a brand new player. What can I do? How can I get help? What's going on? Why doesn't this make sense? People showing cool pictures of things they've seen. I actually think Reddit is actually less salty than Spectrum.
Okay.
That's my opinion. So.
Reddit is also a lot less useful, user-friendly. That's the reason. A lot of people are put off by Reddit just because of the way it works.
I can deal with it. Oh, it's a tropical surprise.
Yes.
No, I never go on Reddit. Not for the sake of anything other than it's like a mind fuck to me. I have no idea what's going on when I log in.
I find it very simple. It's like it's just one giant forum. You just go through what's new
But you're very good at Reddit as well, Manus. You know. And
no, it's not. It doesn't require like Spectrum. I find really complicated. Whereas Reddit is like. The color bars on the left tell me if it's news, but I just read the highlights. It's like literally looking through a newspaper, and you just go, "This is the highlight." You know, these are the headers, and I go, "Okay, that doesn't interest me. That doesn't interest me. That interests me. I'll open it up. That doesn't interest me. That interests me." It's very simple for me. I find Reddit very simple. Whereas I find Spectrum, I have to go, "Is it a general question? Is it a game changer? Is it a fucking?" I find it a little bit less intuitive, if that makes sense.
I think Spectrum's a bit more like a traditional forum, isn't it? There's like headings and then the discussion.
You know what I had with Reddit? So I had to go on Reddit for something of Final Fantasy, and I had to make a post on Reddit. Mm-hmm. If you've never been on Reddit, try to create a post on Reddit.
Okay, I'll try that.
Well, you know how it works, but I was like,
I'll compare it.
What the hell is happening here? You know, and I don't go on Spectrum a lot. You know, I try to avoid it. As you guys say, it's so much salt throwing lately that I think. There was a time where I checked every time. Now I just sift through it, see if there's anything important, and for the rest of it, I'll leave it alone because there's just too much salt. You know, it's too much negativity. You know. too much negativity at the
I
moment.
guess it's based on what you use the most. Like I've never been on. I've been on Reddit, but I don't generally use it that much. Whereas Spectrum I use quite a bit, so I'm more comfortable with that. But if I use Reddit more, I would probably become more accustomed to it. It's just what you use the most, I guess. But I think don't forget, Spectrum is still early days.
Stages. Early days.
It will hopefully become more usable for someone who's new to it. It should do. Moving on.
Yeah. So the next question is for a little bit of madness from Hey Boy, It's Your Skinny Penis, apparently. How can the current flight body be improved?
The current flight, did they say?
Yeah.
Flight module.
I think the same way that I described it. I think they need to kind of potentially. All right, things. We need to get optimization in. We need to get desync reduced. We need to get F frames up to 60. Then we can really analyze and look at the way the game is flying and the mechanics and all the rest of it. Then once we've got the information, then we can go into things such as, which I think is potentially the blacking out nonsense, which I don't like. I think, like I was already discussed on this, I think there should be a system where if you want to be a good pilot, you can improve yourself so that you don't black out. You can potentially stick juice in you can juice yourself so you don't black out, so you can have better turning and G stuff. So there's all of that mechanics I think that need to be done first before we can really improve the flight mechanics. But I don't think they're a million miles away. The current flight mechanic is improved greatly on 2.5 and 2.6. I think we're nearly there. It's my opinion. There's a few things that need to be fixed, but it's not that bad.
I think atmospherics mostly.
Yes. Improvements on graphics, visual. I mean, I wait to see the trails. Key bindings will be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how they balance. Yeah, like it'll be interesting to see if they look at key bindings to help key guys being able to achieve more button control for doing 6 degrees of movement versus joysticks. But I guess they don't want to do that because they want to maintain the reason why you want to get joysticks. There's a whole lot of stuff for flight mechanics. There's turrets that need to big time. Turrets need to be improved to make multiplayer fun. There's so many things I could talk about, but we'd be here for ages.
Okay, so the next question is, I'm not quite sure what he's asking, is by Bunsen. It says, what do you think of a mobile app with Spectrum, text or VoIP, or a red alert triggered by the crew member that is in control of a Carrack while you're on a long distance trip? Just some basic functions, maybe turning into a Mobiglass MFD while online.
They have an app that they don't have an app. They will develop an app that will.
It's one of the stretch goals. Yes.
Does he mean like for your phone?
Yes. Yeah, for your phone. Okay. Yeah, it'll be like an alert, friends ping, that sort of thing. It will eventually happen, but it's just in the works.
Yeah, I think
it's not priority at the moment.
It's something Madness has gone on quite a lot on a few times on our podcast and that, and it's something that I think we all would love to see. Being able to integrate it over to mobile apps, tablets, that sort of thing, and having any more sort of integration that we can have to make it a little bit more fun. What you don't want is it to be necessary, because there's lots of people that haven't got like tablets and things like that, and it's not fair on them. But it's a nice feature, the same way as virtual reality and things like that would be a bit more immersion and stuff, I think.
I think a lot of extra. There should be like a core game, and then you should have extras. Excuse me, which are kind of like you can switch them to automatic or you can switch them to manual type of thing, and they should just enhance the experience. They don't mean that you lose out. They just make it so that like you could be at work and your mate could suddenly get an alert message to say, "Hey, your ship's under attack," or you've been doing what Saurus has been doing. You're on a long cruise to a rogue planet and you haven't got a jump drive, and you need to have this alert system set up so that it tells you if your ship's under attack by an NPC. Maybe your guy's fallen asleep, or exactly, something's happened and you need to make an immediate change. But you also need to be able to do it within the confines of your phone and your iPod. You cannot have to require you to get onto a PC to be able to fix it. That's where it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, they have put it in. It's not the $15 million one, but they have put it in somewhere. But something I just picked up on now, which was mentioned in Ben's day, is the stretch goal for, hang on, give me a second, for $22 million, which was a long way off, was facial capture system.
Oh, yeah.
Or FOIP.
Which we
FOIP
have
was
now.
something that was talked about back in the Wing Command. What do you call him?
Wingman's Hangar.
Eric Peterson,
Wingman
Wingman's
Hangar,
Hangar phase. It wasn't a recent, let's just fucking implement it now quickly.
Nope.
It was something that was...
They actually showed off. I think it was Ben who was showing it off. And they had a 3D goblin-like character who was mimicking his facial movements. It was like working very early on. It wasn't a faceware thing, I believe, but it's still it's not
not a
feature
recent
creep if
thing.
it's been promised since fucking 2013.
And they've been working on it or researching it since then as well. Yeah, it's something that's just been worked on. It's not like, oh, we'll do this additionally now because we've got time.
Sorry, Sol, are you?
No,
are
we
you
did.
okay?
We do it because we promised it years ago.
It was 2013, the 10th of or the 8th of October.
I even got the year right. I was bluffing.
Yeah, you're right.
I was thinking about some things and what Thingy said promises.
Falling asleep with your eyes open.
It
No.
looked like Sol was literally like, oh.
No. Darch said because I really dozed off by the fact that he said we're waiting for stuff since 2013. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck me sideways. You know, but
2012. Is
2012. Yeah, but it's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
That's why it's great when people come in back in last year and say, "Where's the game? Why haven't we got the game already?" I'm like, mate, I've been fucking sat here for 5 years. Don't start fucking complaining to me that we ain't got the game yet.
Yeah, tell the ones that have been waiting.
People like
listening.
that just don't realize how long games like this take.
No.
They
exactly.
can take over 10 years, and those games weren't close to the scope that Star Citizen is going to be.
You see the original Kickstarter campaign, the graphics have changed, the whole thing has changed drastically.
I mean, it does give some credence to the people who claim that Star Citizen is never going to be the game that was originally promised,
my
but
God,
never
No,
mind.
it's going to be
those people.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be better in every possible way.
Okay, so moving on. The next question was from Avatar Chris, aka Madman UK, or Citizens Chris. He's as bad as you, Madness. He's got plenty of names. Not Madness, sorry. As Mac. Mac has about 20 different names, so yeah. He basically says Game Changer, which I think we've covered. So hopefully he's got his answer from that, because we've kind of gone over that for a long time. So the next question is from Disposable Hero, and he just puts Endeavour 420 ?
You're just getting stoned in the thought of Endeavour.
No. I think he means can we grow wheat in the
Oh, yeah,
Endeavour
In the
biome?
hydroponics bay, yeah.
Maybe not weed, but some form of space drug, definitely.
Oh, do you know what? The Endeavour is exciting. Does anyone remember there's like a few space science fiction TV shows or films back in the day in the 1960s and 70s? And one of them very much was about the whole idea of like a spaceship that was very much what the Endeavour is. Oh God, I can't remember what it's called now. It's like a really old school film. It kind of went under the radar, but it's really cool. I'm gonna try and find it. Carry on. Chat amongst yourselves.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm just Foible mentioned about the he said 15 million for the app. It's 5 million, so very early on, the 11th, 17th of November 2012. Tablet companion application to check your inventory, your commission, or finding missions to get the Galactic news feed. So it is very much going to be a thing, but even back then, 2012, it's still planned. It's just
it would actually be amazing if they managed to make an app that was literally mobi-glass. Apart from the real-time stuff, like atmospheric composition, like everything you could do with mobi-glass in regards to missions, map, encyclopedia, messaging, everything
changing
like
your
that.
ship layout and stuff like that. You know, being able to look around.
So while you're at work, you can be like, "You want what? Table for two? Yeah, give me a second."
I think they did.
Sit over there.
Yeah, I think they did mention, didn't they, at one point that like, so if you was doing like cargo runs or maybe hiring NPCs or something to do stuff in your absence,
I
like...
think I don't think that's going to be a thing. I think they mentioned about having because then you can have a fleet of Orions mining while you're not even there. But they said that's not going to happen. They said for some reason they're not going to make that a possibility because they don't want you to.
It reminds me of Euro Truck Simulator because when you start off, you're the driver. You're the driver, and you start earning money, and then you buy garages and more trucks, and you start employing people, and at the end, you don't even have to do anything. It turns from the truck simulator for driving, and it turns into truck company simulator.
Yeah, business management almost. Yeah.
Madness recently found the love for that game, Dart.
He's addicted.
He's addicted to American Truck Simulator.
I do enjoy my truck simulator. That's for...
There's nothing to look at.
Oh, you mean Elite Dangerous?
Sorry, one at a time.
Never mind. It's a bad joke.
Okay.
I mean, what else is new? But you know, I'm just saying, you know, Elite Dangerous Truck Simulator.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yes, definitely.
It's more to see in Truck Simulator, though.
Do you know what? I've never played Elite Dangerous, is the honest truth. I don't know much about it.
I haven't played it. You know, I've got sent what they thought was an actual copy when the first Kickstarter was around of Elite Dangerous, and I was like, shit, nice. One day I was like, okay, I'll install it, I'll play it. Doesn't fucking work. It's just a disc with no content on.
What?
It's just a physical disc with nothing on it. And only the person who actually bought the game, who bought a digital copy as well, can play it. So I've got the fucking original Kickstarter.
But you can't.
I can't play it.
You can't play it.
No,
there isn't even like a code.
No, I contacted him and said, I've been sent this. And he said, oh no, only the account holder has the code for it. That's just a physical disc to show that you own the game.
But it has nothing on it. Not even the game.
But how can you buy the disc without owning the game?
It was part of the original Kickstarter where you could get the actual physical version
like,
of it.
Like Star Citizen's going to have in your account, isn't it? You got a digital download and the physical.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Only one holder, only one account holder for that build. So you can either have it physical or you can have it digital. He used the digital code.
That's stupid.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, the physical thing is supposed to be an extra to the digital one. I mean, it's kind of similar to how Star Citizen does solo ships versus packages. But can you even buy a solo ship without it telling you you won't be able to buy it? You need a package first.
You have to have a game package originally with a ship and game package.
Exactly, those are all upgrades to the original thing. But wow, that is amazing.
It was bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I even announced I was going to do some Elite Dangerous.
I remember you doing it. I'm going to do it.
Do you remember?
I'm going to play some Elite Dangerous. I've got it now.
Why not? Nope.
Wow.
Trolled by Elite Dangerous.
It'd be funny if you put it in and it just showed you a video of Elite Dangerous, nothing else. Just watch it.
You could get to the point where you have to input the code, and so you're like, well, there's no code on it. You know, usually they're on the back of the whatever.
CD.
And I contacted the guy that sent me, and he said, well, there isn't one that's sent with it. I just have my original code, which I can't use because it's been redeemed. So yeah, just.
Oh, you didn't actually get it from.
No, the guy that bought the original package of Elite Dangerous got a digital version and the physical version. But
I thought you got it.
Oh, no,
you bought it from the Kickstarter.
No,
right. Okay,
he thought that he could sell the original version. May I ask what you paid for this?
I paid. No, I got sent the disc. I got given free.
Sent the blank disc.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I thought like $140 or whatever.
Right. Okay. I thought you pledged for the Kickstarter and you got the physical package, but you didn't get the digital one along with it.
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Right.
The guy.
Okay, that makes slightly more sense. Yeah.
It's not that outrageous when you think about it that way.
Yeah. I mean, he could have sent you the well, if he doesn't play, he can sell you his account, but he plays. Yeah.
I thought about shooting him, but he lives in Paris, so.
Taking his account. Okay, we'll move on to the last question, unless anybody else has got any more. But this is an interesting one. Anyone know if? Oh, sorry. This is by La Pasta, and he says, "Does anyone know if there's any plans on writing an SC novel?"
I actually know a friend of mine in an org I'm in called Cal. He writes space themed novels.
Is he called Cal or is the org called Cal?
No, he's called Cal. Cal Spriggs is his name. He actually writes novels, but I don't know if they're specifically based off of Star Citizen, but they are space orientated, and he's a big fan of Star Citizen, so they will be inspired very greatly. But
cool.
Not a Star Citizen novella.
I think that once we get Squadron, there's a possibility that they could be offshoots for
Or novelizations.
Yeah, novel. Yeah, I think it's all dependent on Squadron 42. Once we get Squadron 42, then there could be that option. But we need that first.
Yeah, and there could be stuff based in the Star Citizen universe that's roughly connected to what is actually happening, but
I think
it's going to be a lot harder to do.
Eckhart, like the stories of Miles Eckhart, for
Right,
example.
maybe his backstory or something before you actually meet him.
When you consider how mature our audience
Comics.
and the community of Star Citizen is, we have a lot of writers. Even Dave Haddock has written a Star Citizen novella. He's actually written a story based on Star Citizen, which is purchasable, but I don't think it's printed yet. Is that right? You could buy it early on in the Kickstarter thing. But I think over time, like we see in Machinima and things like this, you will see a lot of inspired stories which are lore-driven. Maybe not official, but they will be inspired by.
I definitely think you'll see fan novels for sure. I mean, there's always people out there that like to do that sort of thing. It would be nice to see an official one. I mean, if anyone played Star Wars: The Old Republic, they actually made audiobooks. Well, I think they had novels as well, but it was like audiobooks. So they actually had stories based on the world and the timeline that was going on in the game. And they were full on 13 CD, sort of 13 hours episodes, whatever, storybooks. So it would be nice if they did that for Star Citizen. I mean, we're getting mini stories at the moment, aren't we, from the lore posts? So I think maybe if someone that did the lore took it upon themselves to maybe write a story or something, we could get it.
I think it's like if you think of Star Wars, honestly, Star Wars need the first kind of couple stories to really embed the whole world, and then once you've got the world embedded, then everything else can just go from there, and you can just go crazy,
Yeah, I think we will see. Like, I honestly reckon we will see even full films of. And I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Roberts actually directs a film himself, because he was a game developer and then he's a director.
He's done it with Wing Commander already.
Yeah,
exactly,
of course he will.
We saw how great that was, though, Mac.
I like it. I think it's a good film. It's very cheesy, but the female out of it was
it's fun. I'd say it's fun, but not good.
Was worth 3 sucks.
No, it's worth barely a lick. That's where
it's worth a
tropical surprise.
Tropical surprise.
It's not even worth a tropical.
That's the sequel. Wing Commander 2: Tropical Surprise.
The pirates hiding in the back of the ship.
Don't set me off, Dave. That's brilliant. Is there any more questions? Or
that is all the questions.
I think that's the best place to leave it, boys. On Tropical Surprise. Good stuff.
Tropical Surprise, yes, sir.
That's a good one.
Hang on.
I like myself a bit of a tropical surprise, eh?
And I'm looking up where I can buy a pineapple at this time of night, and I'm failing.
It gets better every time.
Someone seems to have already done a tropical surprise for Soul already.
Where?
Wow. Oh God, bring that up. Bring that up.
Bring it up.
I think we need to end on this. No further words said. This is the perfect way to sign out.
That is pretty much.
Wow.
There we go.
Who the fuck created that? Was that Night?
There's only one person that can do that, and that's Nightcray for you.
Yeah.
Well done, Nightcray.
Wow.
Facebook page there, Sol.
Yes, post it on Reddit.
I don't even know. I think that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
I don't think we can top that. No, we can't.
He's been working on that for half an hour. Fuck.
He's not been watching the podcast.
It's why he went quiet all of a sudden.
He's been working on that. Is just spot on, mate. Well done.
That is a beautiful version of Soul.
Well done.
I wish I had.
It is quite accurate as well.
That is going on literally tomorrow. We're gonna have that on everything. It is like Bio's got the tour guide, and now Soul is the tropical surprise. He's never gonna live it down. Mrs. the cleaner. Mrs. always hoovering up and cleaning the verb. Oh God!
I'm dying. I'm dying.
Thanks, oh, this is what I love about this community. Right. Okay. So what's everyone up to this week? Once we finish up, then what's up?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm picking up my new car.
Yes.
Ooh, what are you getting?
What are you getting?
Audi A5 Coupe.
Ooh, so that's why you use Audi as the
Yes,
the demonstration.
Check you out with the old. It's like, isn't the Audi A5 the one that's used in Ronin?
no, that's the A8.
Do you get the concierge?
No. It's not with the A5. I think, and it's too old a model. It's from 2007.
Probably the Audi R8 or something.
If you want to just text me, I'll be able to Google where the closest steak is for you, and then send you the link on Google Maps, and you can just
Done.
personal concierge.
Cool.
Along with a picture of fucking tropical sunrise. You want vegan? You've got vegan. But there's more meat than you can handle.
Ow.
So you have to do that for.
Listen, I'm gonna make a because this I obviously we don't want to show that on stream too much, but I will make a pineapple with my face in it, and we'll make it we'll make it for all the subs. We'll make it a icon.
An emote, yes.
Nice.
Okay. So
Sorry, carry on, Daj. What were you saying?
Oh no, got the keys here. It's at the detailers, and I'm picking it up on Wednesday.
Nice.
It's I've wanted it ever since it came out, and now I finally have it. But I'm also broke, so yay!
Who cares? You have the cool car.
I have a cool car.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it as well.
You only live once.
Exactly.
YOLO. Yeah. Yodo as well. We only die once. So be careful.
I will.
Yes.
He's got a 4-wheel drive though, so he should.
Yes, of course.
Stick to the. It's not like it's a Porsche or something.
And
Or an
afterburner.
SD1000.
And
Afterburner.
drive.
Well,
Yeah.
the previous owner did install, quite exhaust like this big, so
Yes.
it might
Wow.
be spitting some flames. Yeah.
I look forward to see. When did you say you're picking up?
Wednesday.
Wow, I look forward to seeing the pictures on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll do.
Fantastic.
Don't drive and tweet though. Remember.
Actually,
it's
I
safety
will
first.
post. I won't post it on my official Twitter. I will post it on the Fortnightly Frontier one, just because there are some people. There's two communities. I'm part of a motoring community, and it's kind of a surprise for them because.
Okay.
So I will be posting there, and hopefully they will not find it.
And it's a great plug. Just make sure you follow Fortnightly Frontier.
Yes. there
On
you
Twitter,
go. Good.
YouTube,
On
and
on
Maya's channel.
Twitter is actually Fort Frontier because
Did you-
Fortnightly Frontier is too long for Twitter.
I was going to say.
Wow,
If you wanted to,
What is Mac doing?
What will you say?
we can drop that in for you, dude.
I've got the I've got
You
the
got it
link
in
to
there?
the web to the
we go.
blah, blah, blah,
For
blah,
web
the
sync,
YouTube
That's the
one
one.
because
We'll
YouTube
check
links on there. Yeah.
There we
we'll
go.
check
I linked the correct thing.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go. So give that a look.
Frontier, nice one. Check it out, guys.
So Soul.
So,
Oh, and tomorrow
Yeah.
we are doing the Fortnightly Frontier podcast recording with Meyer. Somewhere around, I think, same time as we started. Somewhere
Okay,
around
but
9
9:30.
British time, 10 European time.
cool. We'll go. Yeah, definitely check it out, guys.
Yes.
Good stuff.
It's shorter, so yeah.
Yeah.
More to the point, more actual Star Citizen focus.
Since
Yes.
when is anything short?
Better.
Seriously.
I love how your
Longer.
mic completely cut out there.
Yeah,
the whole
it
time.
was-
Exactly.
To be honest, we didn't need anything else.
Discord
Ugly's better.
anticipated and auto-censored whatever he was going to say.
No.
No, you're done. You've had enough. It's time to end.
Okay, so Mac, what are you up to this week? We'll go from there.
Star Citizen Tuesday is happening. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe Star Citizen Wednesday. We'll see. Other than that, it's going to be the usual sort of videos, trying to find out what information we get from Star Citizen and creating a video on it, as well as the streams. Hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The usual sort of stuff where we just piss around in the verse. Although the last few streams have been quite a lot of fun, trying to get the big ships and then trying to get Big Bennis to Grimhex. I've enjoyed that a lot. I appreciate everyone jumping in to the stream as well and playing with me and helping out, because it really makes a difference. Jumping into Star Marine alone is kind of sad.
Yeah.
And you end up just crying in a corner afterwards. But we get over it because we're grown men. So, you know.
Yeah.
Bottle everything.
Yes.
And Soul? I don't even know. I want to know what you're going to do.
It will be very pineapple
Pineapple time.
themed.
No. I still have a lot of work on for this week, so I'll probably be working a lot. I try to put some streams in with the racing. So hopefully I can be doing that. And hopefully some Star Citizen again as well. I'm a bit at the moment a bit bummed out on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go through
Everybody
phases,
just
don't
waiting
you?
for that 3.0.
Yeah.
3.0 love.
You
And
got to ride the hype.
Madness.
I will be obviously tomorrow. I'm going to be doing the thing in Scotland, funeral for my with the family, and then I'll be traveling back tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, hopefully, I shall stream as always to my schedule, and just look forward to ATV and wait for 3.0 like the rest of us and just kill people and have time.
I don't kill people.
Someone in the hotel called the cops now.
Yeah, his neighbors have been listening in all the time and wondering what that noise is, and they just were able to
Topical sunrise, killing
and
people.
killing people. Yeah.
Yes.
Midsummer
Murdering,
murders. Midsummer murders.
Like I always remember, like last week, wasn't it? Auroras, and I think he witnessed very clearly, like literally this morning, me murdering about 15 Auroras. So, yeah.
No, I saw you
It
get
happened.
wrecked by an Aurora. That's all I saw.
And I got killed by,
That's
an
all I
Aurora.
saw
It's true.
tonight.
I got killed by an Aurora. Just for you, miss. Just for you, buddy.
Of course.
So you feel better.
Yeah.
Maybe leave some of that salt up in Scotland when you're on your way back as well.
Oh yes. I'm going to be bringing back some of the best quality Scottish salt known to mankind.
From those freshwater locks.
Oh yes.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go over and host somebody.
But miserable, you
What are you
didn't
doing?
say what you'll
yeah,
be doing.
come on, Miz.
I
You
don't know
can't
what I'm gonna be doing.
yourself.
Hopefully doing some streaming on Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know if I'm gonna do a dual stream with Mac. We sometimes do. If
Yes,
you're up
we
for
can.
it,
We can do that. Yeah.
we can do. I don't know, PUBG or some Star Citizen, whatever you want to do. So yeah, we'll
Bit
do
of
it.
Liz, aren't we going to do a Deep Rock Galactic at some point?
We are going
A
to do a
what?
Deep Rock Galactic stream as well. So we've got a dwarf mining procedural digging
Yes.
game. So we're going to do that as
Alpha.
well. And see what it's like. I got about 4
Bit of
keys from that,
fun.
so I might give a few keys away as well. To see if it's any good or not. I think Astropub's paid it once or twice.
Yeah, it's all right.
It looks interesting. I don't know if it's got a lot of depth to it, but oh god, I shouldn't say that when it's a digging
It's-
mining
How deep
game, but
can dwarfs go?
quite deep.
4 foot.
It's missing a few easy mechanics.
I've had a quick go at it, and it's quite fun.
Yeah.
It's the monsters and things that turn up depend on how much you mine and things like that, and then they're sort of procedurally generated, so you don't know what you're necessarily going to find and things. But hopefully, I mean, it's early access and alpha, so there's
Yeah.
going to be more content keep being added to it. So we'll show it off and see what it's like. If anyone's
Yeah.
got it, let us know. We can come and jump in and play as well.
More than merrier.
I don't think I'll be doing my Tuesday painting stream because I think Des is away again. I'll check, but otherwise that's my usual Tuesday evenings. Other than that, streaming some more Star Citizen when I can. Trying to get back into it again now. So I've had my holidays. They've gone. I've come back from Scotland. I should have a few more clear months ahead of being able to stream now rather than plan for holidays and things like that. We are obviously got Gamescom coming up in October, which I'm really looking forward to. I'll be going with Mac.
CitizenCon.
That's what I said.
Yeah, get it right.
What did I say?
Gamescom.
I'm going back in time.
Ah.
Yep.
You want to go back?
And then I'm gonna do
it was so
CitizenCon.
good.
So,
It was so good. You want to relive it.
So good. I want to relive it. Exactly. So yeah, we'll be doing CitizenCon. That's the one. So I'm looking forward to that.
We could even do an addicted podcast while we're there, maybe. With
Is anybody actually going to CitizenCon?
Yeah,
Yes,
me and
I'm
Mac.
going.
I'm trying to get tickets, guys. My missus
So if
is-
anyone has got a ticket in chat that's
Yes.
not going to be able to go, Madness is looking for a ticket.
I am.
So.
I'm going. Myra's
know.
going. We have a room. It's stumbling
Together?
distance away from the theater.
Oh, awesome.
So we can
so
get
if anyone-
super drunk, and there's 3 kebab places on the way. So excellent for us.
We're staying in the same
Madness,
hotel as Toby.
If you can get a ticket, you can. We have a spare room at my parents' place, so you can stay there. And I'll
As
drive
long as
there.
there's no tropical surprise, I'm in.
There you go. There you go. So I'm staying at my
I
parents',
see.
which is about an hour away from the venue.
Yeah.
And then I drive up and
Yeah,
from
even without
Miller.
a ticket, we can go to Bar Citizens. We can do a podcast from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I could
Nowhere.
potentially. I mean, it's a
Uh,
possibility.
I mean, realistically,
There's
CitizenCon's like, what, an
something
hour
that
or
I'm so
something?
bummed
Yeah,
about
exactly.
it. though.
I could just for the. Yeah, we could potentially do that.
Well, when are
There's-
we going, Matt? Because we're going for like 3 days, aren't we, or something? No, 2 nights. But we're going up on the... Yeah, we're going for 2 nights, sorry.
Yeah, the night before for the Bar Citizen, then the actual event, and then... No, hang on. Oh, fucking I don't know.
You just it's like literally my missus like when CitizenCon the whole potential to buy the tickets were out. Mrs. like I was like, do you know what? I've been to CitizenCon. Do you know what, love? It's okay. I don't want to go. I don't want you to think I'm kind of away and doing all my own thing, all the rest of it. And then 3 months later, she says,
You can go.
"Oh, you can go."
That's
Like, I see like all your
women
mates,
timing.
like all your kind of weirdo friends. As she would, weirdo friends love women.
Does she call us weirdo friends? Is
The
that what it is?
weirdo friends that like this game.
Is she calling us weirdo friends?
She's like the weirdo friends.
we are fucking weird, to be fair. I mean, look at that picture of
Come
fucking
on, let's be honest. We are
tropical sunrise. Is that not weird?
Yeah.
Surprise.
weird.
Surprise.
Go. She's like,
Surprise.
"Oh, why don't
Tropical
you get
sunrise is a
tickets to go?"
cocktail. Tropical surprise.
Surprise is
not
a
so much.
completely different thing.
That should be a new cocktail for the Astro Pub.
And I was
I'll
like,
pitch it to him.
"Ah."
I'll pitch it to him.
So it's I'm so late to the game. So literally, if anyone knows anyone that desperately wants to sell the ticket, and they've had a situation change, just let me know quickly, because obviously I need to book the flights, which is the most important thing.
How
That's the
long is
expensive thing.
CitizenCon? Like, it's just a
Yeah, I don't-
presentation, isn't
It's
it?
one
I
day,
don't,
day.
I don't want to
Yeah,
be the
it's
sad
one
dog
evening.
kid
about 3
standing
hours,
outside.
4 hours.
Yeah,
be the guy
but
standing
there's
outside.
other stuff. You know,
worth
there's bar citizens and there's hanging out with the devs, just like there was at Gamescom.
Weirdo is the new norm. Exactly.
No, it's worth going.
Yes. Also,
Definitely
one
worth
thing
it.
I'm super bummed about. I've been talking about and thinking about it. One day for CitizenCon, I wanted to go to a venue, like one of the houses of, for Test Squadron or whatever, and just make pancakes for everybody who comes and visits. Just for everybody. But will be no such place to go, unfortunately.
Listen, you can
I love
come and make
supply
pancakes at my mom's house if you want, man.
Yeah.
Have you
but
asked her first? So,
Yeah.
She's alright with it.
all of a sudden, like, 200...
As long as we don't pull the coconuts out, she's good with it.
You come
No,
out
the
in
thing
this
is,
fucking-
if we do that, there's gonna be potentially hundreds of people coming by.
There will.
Is it a house with a big yard and shit like that, or?
Yes, I think my dad will smack us to pieces though, but
Yes.
that's
Well, he will have a lot of people to smack.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well,
he's a bit of a weird one.
hopefully I can make it out there, but if not, it'll be always next year.
Yeah. And then we
Yeah, but next year is gonna be in Austin.
Even better.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Do you reckon it will be in the UK?
No.
No, because
Yeah, Brits
UK
got-
was already 2 years ago, and they have 4 studios, you know. So they got UK, they got LA, now you got Frankfurt, the next one's Austin.
Looks like I'm gonna have to
But
buy
wasn't
it.
Austin a very small? Well, I don't know, may do, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could rotate it back to the beginning and start at UK, and then. But yeah, they need. I think what they'll do from now on is have each 4 locations host a citizen con.
Yeah.
Whether or not it starts next year or this year or whatever, I don't know. But
Yeah.
they will hold them in UK, Frankfurt, Austin, and LA.
All right. Let's do it. Let's host. Let's move over, boys.
Who are we hosting?
All right.
Let's say goodbye and good night.
Who are we hosting?
Yeah, you gotta pick someone first.
Oh, this Saurus is on. Oh,
Red-
Red Lear's on.
Shiners, Red Lear, or Dr.
Red Lear.
Should we do Red Alert? We haven't hosted him before.
We haven't done drones in a while. We did Rattler last week.
Have we?
Oh, did we do Red Lear last year? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did last
We
week.
did last year.
Not that I love Rattler,
What
but I
about
also love
Jester?
drones.
Drones was on last week on the show, so
Yeah, let's give him a surprise.
let's give
A
Drones.
pineapple surprise.
He's also
Yeah,
he's in,
we
he's in
all-
Florida as well.
You've got a raise.
Oh, yeah, he's in Florida as well. Let's everyone say tropical surprise
It's in the VOD. You can-
in chat.
He's from Florida, so
Are there any global emotes that are kind of like a pineapple?
There must be a pineapple emote. There's got to be some fucking.
I've only just got my emote approved, so I'm going to be.
I'll do the
There's-
solitary one.
There's a Doritos chip.
I don't think there is.
There's a smelly cheese, stinky cheese, yeah.
Yeah, do the stinky cheese. Tropical surprise.
There's
Okay.
tacos. There's 3 different tacos. What the hell?
I used to say bombs and hearts, and just fucking troll the shit out of that.
Okay,
Oh,
guys.
yes, tropical surprise.
Thank
I mean, Twitch
Thank
raid
you.
anyway.
Tropical
Thank you,
Surprise
everybody.
Addicted Raid. Yeah,
you
thanks
for
everybody
everyone
for
that's
all the
come.
follows, for all your support as always, for joining us and watching the
Indeed.
show. Make sure you give all these guys a follow. Don't
Yeah.
forget, if you've missed half the show or anything else, make sure
You're a fucking wanker wherever
that
you've been.
we will be
What's-
uploading this to the Addicted Podcast channel on YouTube and all of our own as well. And it will also be on SoundCloud. Blah, blah, blah. So let's go and host Dr. Drones.
Thank you all for coming
Thanks all.
and hanging out with us. Crazy. Good night, guys.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. It was awesome.
We off the air now.
Yes.
With that
Yes.
insane
Yes.
raid.
Thank you, dude. We did go on a bit. but
Tropical
thank you.